of the Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. I'm looking around like I lost something. I'm trying to make sure everything is working properly. But welcome to another episode of the Morning Glow. We got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. And before we get started, before we go another step further, I got to say good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning to my brother from another mother. But we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Hey man, I wanna ask you this question, man. I always start off with what's going on, man. Has anything changed? Is it looking any better for us? What's going on in this political arena?
Well, there's a lot of infighting in the GOP, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
Boy, you know me, I would really looking forward to the GOP's demise, especially with the laws that they're encouraging and supporting, because
Mhm.
we do know that it is an effort and an agenda that includes the entire United States to suppress voting.
Yes.
So all of our attention should be definitely directed towards voting.
Mhm.
There's an issue that has been exposed as well when it comes to this unemployment discussion
Mhm.
and supposedly the rhetoric that the GOP is putting out that people aren't going to work because the government is doing so much for them in
Mhm.
terms of unemployment checks.
Mhm.
What is so sad is that corporate America can't compete with unemployment. They should be shamed that they don't pay wages that can compete with unemployment.
Mhm.
This is a capitalist society, and this is our market system. So when you're preaching market from the supply side, you need to also understand that there's a market on the demand side as well. So the balance lies in a lot of these activist issues as it relates to livable wages.
Mhm.
And it exposes this whole pandemic and thing is exposing a lot of the ills in American society as it relates to this employment. And
Let me
why
ask.
is this huge dynamic where now you have people being criticized for receiving unemployment?
Mhm. Mhm. What is the difference, Leonard? And excuse my English on this, but what is the difference between unemployment that they're giving right now and the welfare that they gave a few years ago and they was all for?
Well, I mean,
Because
it just depends.
wasn't welfare a source that they came up with when people was during the depression, when people was having a hard time making ends meet. They said, well, let's go out there and give them this money to help them stabilize and stay where they need to be their feet. And I think it got out of control. I think it went further than what they wanted to take it, but it was just a source to help them. Am I correct?
Yes, welfare is just that. And then if you notice, the program has been through a lot of changes. And
Mm-hmm.
it is always being fine tuned to make sure that it is providing opportunities and resources out of poverty.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
what welfare is about. It's
Mm-hmm.
about keeping families out of poverty.
Yes. Absolutely.
So there is a threshold that we use to define poverty, and welfare adjustments are to at least get people to the threshold
Mm-hmm.
where they should have, well, every household should, the basics should be covered.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have these various programs specifically for women, women and children,
Yes.
and things of that nature as far as the housing programs. And if you notice, there are a lot of programs for women who live on assistance to get out of that situation.
Yes.
And many women do this.
Mhm, mhm,
However, but people tend to focus the news on their agenda. The
mhm.
agenda of the GOP is to always to paint people that are getting assistance as being somehow less than or second class citizens.
Mhm,
And see,
mhm.
this is why now when you expose a country's weakness, just like when you have a great team playing sports, like say for instance, we'll have the seasonal start in August, right?
Yes.
and you got a preseason,
Mm-hmm.
and you can expose some teams early and see their weaknesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
This pandemic
Yes.
and the demand that has been placed on Congress to do something for the people, and their one side's insistence on providing for corporations to do well as opposed to actual working people.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the GOP is resisting helping people, because that's not whom they support.
Mm-hmm.
They support corporations. And right now, corporations are, the rhetoric is that, with unemployment, people need to go to work. If we stop giving them anything, they'll go back to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's not too different than, why should we help them anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Why should we help them anyway? Now you'll give a company a titty forever,
Mm-hmm.
a corporation. You keep them on the titty as well, but you don't call that welfare. That's
Mm-hmm.
corporate welfare.
It's the
You're
same thing.
bailing out all corporations and everything else.
It's the same thing. It's just that
Exactly.
you're doing one for individual, and you're doing one for a business, for, like you said, a corporation. But it's the same thing. When it's when the motor industry had this big issue, they bailed them out.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
and look at the amount of money they gave to that quote unquote corporation in comparison to what they're giving to the individuals. There's a huge gap there.
Right, especially even as it relates to education, for instance,
Yeah.
with this whole notion and the money set aside in budgets for education. If you send
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion to the education sector,
Mm-hmm.
how much of that money goes to the tuition-paying students
Not a
to
lot.
alleviate the cost?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is corporations eat this money up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have a situation where the people get the least amount of assistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the GOP's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Always has been. And so this is why working class people should not be supporting a party that does not put them at the top of their priority list.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So basically, Leonard, in listening to what you're saying, the GOP is mainly for. It's not for the it's for
Working
the
man.
it's for the rich man. Yeah, the
Yes.
wealthy is
Yes,
mainly.
it's
for the wealthy.
always on the supply side.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Wow.
always on the supply side
Mm-hmm.
because they believe that the supply side should control everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're not too far away from their thinking as it relates to previous theories that they love by Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to trickle-down economics, which is always people hear that, but that is the actual term that you learn in school to explain the Republican agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give all the money to the rich and hope they favor the poor.
Yeah.
And this is why we have such poverty.
Let's deal with something for a second, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a personal. It's something that's personal. Some people say that Reagan was a great president. Others say he was a terrible president. From where you're sitting and from your expertise, because you know this is a win that you're very familiar with. In your eyes, was he a great president?
Yes, in some terms, he you could say that based on he was a lot more bipartisan when it comes to certain things, and he definitely accomplished those things that he set out to accomplish. He never was deceptive about things. I mean, you got the dirty truth from him up front. This is what we're doing. This is the direction we're going. Let's go. However, if Reagan was ever defeated in Congress, it was a fair fight. And as president, he still would support the winning side because he was a Republican that was more about unity in politics as opposed to dissension. And he didn't waver as much as it related to public opinion. So he may not have been great for your perspective, but he was definitely very powerful and influential in that office as president.
Okay.
So
Now,
I judge his success on his ability to get done what he said he was going to get done.
okay. Okay. Now, who would you put in the same plane with him after Reagan? Has there ever been one after Reagan that was on the same mindset or the same plane as him in regards to that?
Well, Clinton was better
Mm-hmm. Wow.
in terms of what was best for this nation
Mm-hmm.
and the direction that we should have continued in, because we would be a lot more global
Mm-hmm.
than ever. Trade would probably be more balanced economically, because you have to remember the Democrats like Clinton balanced the book,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Republicans really don't care much about balance in books as
Mm-hmm.
long as they're getting the lion's share of everything.
Now, see, that's an opposition of what they try to tell you, and the reason why I say that is if you listen to the Republican Party, they always complaining about the amount of money that the Democrats spending. They spend this amount of money, they're doing this and they're doing that. They're spending all your tax money. But what you're saying to me right now is in total opposition of that.
Yes, the Republicans have always lied when it comes to this. And
Mm.
it's not that they're concerned about spending as much.
Mm-hmm.
That's rhetoric that they use to get hard-working white folks to believe that somebody's misusing and misappropriating their money all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they're doing that is they're giving it away to the poor people. The GOP is not concerned with spending as long as you're spending on what they consider a priority.
That sound like that pretty almost sound like a scare tactic that they're using.
Oh, that's always been the plan. Fear tactics. Let's make them believe that there's always a pending war to justify an unbalanced military budget, to constantly fuel the military complex. This is what Reagan's big thing was, funding the military complex. And because when Reagan was in president and how he sort of defueled the Russian threat and sort of emerged as the leader after the Cold War, that's all really attributed to Reagan. And so then when you get to Bill Clinton finds a way, he balances the budget. He draws down our military to decrease that spending. He shifts spending to social programs that have greater social marginal benefits. And the budget began to balance. And he was successful with that. Obama came in and addressed the situation appropriately. His focus was more so with balance, doing as much as possible for the people, and as well supporting our economic base. And it was very more diplomatic in terms of negotiating with our global partners. So that's Obama's biggest accomplishment, is he provided a excellent example to the rest of the world for America. Obama could convince the entire world to come to the table for peace.
Was he successful?
No, not as far as starting off from where he started off from, yes. But we need a continuity in leadership, so that one, if we get a president like Obama who does 8 years, he needs to be followed by someone with the same agenda. Biden should I don't believe Biden should have sat out the first time.
Yeah.
Because we look at how much damage was done to America by allowing the GOP once again to be in control. This is why Mitch McConnell has so much power in Congress, because he continues to win and maintain authority in Congress.
Do you think it was by choice that Obama set out?
Well, no, Obama had
I'm sorry, Biden. I meant Biden. Biden.
Biden?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why it was that way. I'm not sure if it was personal on his part or what it may have been.
Mm-hmm.
But he really, and I believe it was simply because of the person, Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hillary Clinton at the time was the best option for America.
You think she was?
Oh, I know she was.
And is it because?
She's an awesome Secretary of State.
Mm-hmm.
She she is definitely a person who knows what to do.
Mm-hmm. So why didn't she win? Is it because she's female?
No, well, that's one reason why she didn't win. Because one, you got these ridiculous sexist white males on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they would prefer a black president over a woman.
Yeah.
But people don't want to talk about it. But they
Mm-hmm.
are just as, this is why they got to get rid of Cheney
Mm-hmm.
and oust her from power, because they still don't care about what a white woman got to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's just smoke and mirrors for them. They're not going to have a woman in power that don't do what they say.
In 2021, soon to be 2022, this is almost midway point. This is almost June. You telling me they still got that caveman mentality where they don't want to store woman?
Yes. And Hillary Clinton, she is a group of elite women when it comes to politics in terms of being a problem solver and
Mm-hmm.
actually very much respected and in control of things.
Mm.
She was qualified to do the job and to continue us on a path of progress.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have other things like sexism, racism, and everything else that affects an election, that could really destroy solidarity.
Mm-hmm.
So you got people with just pure, what do you call it? They're just ignorant.
Stupidity.
Yeah, they just still like that. Some of them, they're still alive. They're still in power.
Mm. But see, I always thought if there's somebody, this is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound crazy. It's certainly coming from me. It's gonna sound crazy. But if I'm running an organization and I know that there's a Ku Klux Klan member that is excellent in this particular department, would I be wrong for hiring that person if I know they're the best one qualified to do that job? Am I wrong?
Now you would be, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when you say wrong, that's very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But one part of the entire reason why Biden has initiated this oversight as it relates to destroying racism
Mm-hmm.
by every department in the United States government
Yeah.
says that one, these particular individuals must be taken out of position.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you see it, it should be reported.
Mm-hmm.
It should be made known that it is a threat. And it has to be monitored because these people are closet terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
That's their, I don't care how they try to paint the organization. It has always been a white racist terrorist organization.
Mm-hmm.
Always, from its inception.
Yeah. Okay. How did you feel about when he came out? He said, "Look, if I walk into a room or I hear something about somebody that's doing something racist or against a certain group of people because of the fact that you're ignorance, I'll fire you on the spot."
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about his stance when he said that?
I believe it's excellent. Now do what you say you do. Do what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Now do what you say.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to see you do what you say.
Mm-hmm.
They got to see you do what you say. Don't make a veiled threat like Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Yeah. Wow. And see, Leonard, I got to be honest with you, brother. I love that sister, I really do, but I'm very disappointed.
Well, I mean, it happens.
I'm disappointed, man.
She tried. She tried.
I don't know. I don't know how. Explain to me how she tried, because she
ran. She
mm-hmm.
won.
Mm-hmm.
She had good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
But see, when you're in that seat, it's different.
Yeah.
because that seat requires someone with to exercise authority and power.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't do that, you got to move on.
Wow.
Not a good look. Not a good look for her.
You think you think the weight of it was too much for her?
Yes. No. Well, no. I don't think that.
Mm-hmm.
She's very much she can do that job,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason she's choosing not to do it.
What's in her ear? Because for her to say I'm just not gonna run anymore. I'm just quote unquote basically giving up. Something had to happen because I never viewed her as being a quitter.
Right. When you know something had to happen, I believe she has to come. She's not. She
She
may
had to
not want to.
compromise. She
Yeah, I
had
don't believe she wants to be. She wants to compromise,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's not going to look good for her political career
Mm-hmm.
because she plays the game from the power side
Mm.
instead of playing it from the people side.
How would you feel about Stacey Abrams running for mayor?
I would vote for Stacey Abrams for mayor, president, whatever she ran for. I'd vote for her because I know her.
Yeah. Okay.
She is extremely capable of doing anything she sets out to do.
Now, how will she be received though?
It
Because
doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's
she's real
winning that
strong.
matters.
She's a real strong personality, Leonard.
That's what you need. Every other person has been strong in that position. Why
Mhm.
not Stacey Abrams be strong in that position?
And see that's where I have an issue because for me it's not a problem at all. I love that and I love the fact that she has that strong personality because I think that she'll really get things done. But there's certain individuals looking in on her and say first she's a black woman. She has this strong personality. They put her in the category of an angry black woman, and for those reasons they may not vote for her.
Well, they ain't gonna vote for her anyway
Mm-hmm.
because they ain't on her side. It don't matter how good she is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
So if she can win the popularity contest and get the seat, she can exercise the power.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what people say about her. We need a person that is about winning and doing for the people that elected them.
Do you think she'll be a good follow-up to Lance Bottoms?
Oh my God. In
Hmm?
my opinion, Stacey Abrams is a lot bigger than the mayor
Wow.
because that entire position.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey Abrams' expertise and skills are sufficient for the White House
Wow.
because she's a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
She's not just doing it just for somebody to call her name or to get away with murder, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She actually wants to fix things and not really one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
It's a balanced approach to government where everyone has the opportunity to benefit. But people are priority as opposed to corporation.
Mm-hmm.
You
Wow.
got to have a strong person, strong people in leadership with that agenda. Because everybody's not going to like you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We barely get 6 people on here to agree with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine when you actually have opposition, when you actually have people trying to destroy you as you do a good work.
And that she obviously will. She will have a lot
Yeah.
of opposition. And that's just coming out the gate. That's when she first get in office, before she get in office, when she's running, she can have so much opposition just because of who she is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that one of the things that she has to be aware of, which I'm sure she is, I can tell by her campaign initiatives
Mm-hmm.
and different things she's doing still.
Mm-hmm.
Women's rights are not going to be a good commercial for global leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I
How does she
understand she has to emerge as an individual capable of using all the tools of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to the military and global trade and these types of things. So great for too big for mayor, great for governor on her way to be president.
Now I'm gonna tell you something, and I stand with you on that, Leonard. Honestly speaking, whatever that sister ran for, I'm gonna vote for her. I'm just gonna vote for her because she's convinced to me. And people and there's some people out there that say, "Well, Raheem, well, Leonard, you're gonna vote for her because she's black." No, I'm gonna vote for her because she showed me the examples of what it takes to be a leader.
Yeah, the bonus is she's black. That's the bonus.
Yeah. That's the icing on top of the cake.
I've never ran into a man as intelligent.
And
in terms of government, as it relates to Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
And it's because I've sat and talked with her on a few occasions, in depth on her plans and ideas to do and how to do certain things. Not only does she have her own position, but she spent the majority of her time in politics by bridging the gap and trying to move ahead in a bipartisan fashion. However, I think if you give her more authority, she can exercise more power and be a strong governor as opposed to a puppet like Kemp.
Now let me ask you this question. Say she did run for president and win. She's Democratic. She's Democrat. How will she work? How will she work with, or will she be able to work with the other side?
No, she's known for working with the other side. She can do that because she gives it to you plain and simple. Here's the deal. Here's where you benefit. Here's where this side benefit. She operates on that whole perspective of win-win. But now, a lot of times she's going to look out more so, and she's a lot more interested in social issues. Most of them don't have that focus. They could care less.
Yeah, exactly. Now, changing the subject on for a second there, Larry. I'm actually broadcasting from home today. And one of the reasons why I'm actually broadcasting from home is because this gas situation, man, I can't find no 93.
Right.
And what impact do you think this gas situation is having? Because I looked at CNN and a couple other channels, and they was talking about the amount, the percentage of states that don't have gas. We was pretty high up there. I think it was like about 40-some% of our whole state didn't have gas. North Carolina and South Carolina was higher than we are. Texas, they was fairly low. But what impact do you think this gas situation is having on America right now?
Just no different than any other time. It's just people acting erratically. There's no gas. There's no gas shortage. There's a delivery issue, and the delivery issue is usually collected within a week or so. Gas is fine, but what will happen is consumption is a little different. People get, if they can convince you that something's gonna run out, they can drive you insane.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But if you ever read history, that's always create scarcity, and it'll make the market respond a certain way. There's a reason to inflate the barrels of oil, the price of the barrels of oil, and things like that again, as usual. That happens all the time.
Are we puppets, Leonard? Are we puppets to a degree?
No, I just believe that your behavior is very predictable. It's just behavior is predictable. That's why people are able to do these things. Let's go on the news and talk about it's a gas shortage. As soon as the news says it's a gas shortage, people run to the gas station like freaking idiots and start, over consuming.
I saw a couple of fights at the gas pump, Leonard.
Yeah.
People are serious about this thing, man.
Yeah. That's how people act, man.
Yeah.
Where instead of changing your behavior and consuming gas more conservatively, instead of being forced to do it, you should have already been on plans to budgets. Gas is a huge budget item. So people who have less resources are usually better at budgeting because they're always in a situation where they're at their last. That this may be how much money for gas, right, for the budget. I got to cut all my other curricular activities out in order to meet my budget. So those people don't have a problem because they pretty much know what to expect. They have a plan for what's going on. Guess what? The people who ain't had no money before that, they didn't have no money to be rushing to the tank buying all the gas they could. People with money do that. People with money do that because gas didn't get cheaper. So people with disposable income took their little money and started trying to store up the gas. More people don't do that because they ain't got the money to do that.
Man, it's amazing you said that because I saw a lady, or it was a lady and a guy. She was actually one pumping the gas, and he was sitting in the driver's seat. I still don't understand how that works, but they had a truck, and they had gas cans, red gas cans, and they were filling them up, man. They were filling them gas cans up, man, and they had about eight, maybe 10 of them. I don't know what they was. Well, I know what they were, but they were preparing themselves, and I still, like I said, I don't understand a man sitting in the car with a woman doing the work. I ain't never understood that. But he was sitting in the car. Huh?
You don't know that woman.
Yeah.
Some women don't want you to pump their gas.
But she was pumping gas in them gas cans in the back of the truck.
That's probably what she wanted to do. But that's what a lot of people kill me, and a lot of women resent. She's doing what she want to do.
Yeah.
She ain't taking no orders from no man or whatever. She felt like filling gas cans up. That's what she did.
Lord Jesus, you might be right, bro. Because she was sure doing it. I'm trying to get my line up my thing here. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, grand rising, my brother.
Good morning.
How's the gas situation in your state there, brother?
It's sporadic. In some places they out, and some places you ain't got no problem. You ain't got to worry about it. People gonna learn about being sheep. You've been warned. They had a broadcast about Water World a long time ago. And some people figured out they could keep using that process to manipulate the minds of people. And some figured out that, you know what, I better stop listening to the first thing I hear and just running with the widespread, I'm going to say, panic that a lot of people go through when they start hearing news. You start finding out that sometimes people put news out there for you to panic. Sometimes you have to just sit back and wait. I did a live yesterday, and on that live I was talking about sometimes it's good to be first and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be so in a hurry to be the first to do something that you really are an experiment. Like the first person to get a Tesla and actually jump in the back seat. What I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't the first person to sit in the back seat and say, you know what, man, yeah, you can make it all the way home. It's foolproof. It's perfect. You don't have anything to worry about. So sometimes it ain't good to be the first person because you could be a fool. You can be an experiment. But we're going to learn about being sheep.
And one of the things that I agree with you 100% on is that vaccine. I still hadn't got it, but I certainly wouldn't want to be the first one to go stand in that line, roll up my sleeve tomorrow. Go ahead, hit me with it. I'm ready.
You've been seeing the people putting the magnets on their arms.
What happened? I ain't seen that.
They put the magnets on their arms where they got the shot at.
The
magnet is sticking. They put it anywhere else on their body and the magnet won't stick.
Wow.
At first they thought it was just a prank. So other people started doing it to see if it was real. They put the magnet exactly where they got the shot, and the magnet stayed.
Leonard.
Some people were saying that, it could, I don't even want to repeat that other part, man, but you got some people that actually proving that they got the shot, showing the card, and then in the background speaking about seeing a retractable needle and saying that the people that administered the shot saying it was a new type of injection. So sometimes it ain't good to be first.
No, not at all. No, what you think about that, bro?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard.
because that's I wouldn't get it, man. I'm just
Well, I
being.
don't, like I say, I can wait. I'm like Rico. I can wait. I don't need to be first. I don't need to be first.
Mm-hmm. All right, gentlemen, we got a topic today. We're gonna jump into our topic for the end. This is it's I guess a personal thing of how people deal with it. But I'm trying to get it on the screen here. Let me get it going from left to right.
Hey, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Before you go in, I was listening a little bit earlier, and I heard you make a comment about how you were so disappointed in Keisha Bottom.
Yes. Yes.
And I wanted to put this out there. It made me think of it because when I was walking a couple of days ago, former mayor of this city stopped me, and he didn't realize it was me that was walking. He said he saw me walking every morning passing his house. So he stopped me and was talking to me, and it took me back to when he reached out to me a couple of years ago, and I asked him why he didn't run for mayor again because he was so successful, especially in this city where we are. It was perfect because he would have been the perfect bridge gap. He'd have bridged the gap between the community. He was doing a good job of it, but on the outside looking in, it looked like, okay, you know what? He got momentum. He can keep on going. He's strong. But after talking with him and hearing what the problem was, I could sort of relate to why Keisha Lance Bottoms might leave. He was telling me about death threats. People that had their way, that didn't like what he was doing, and they didn't want him to bridge the gap. Death threats from people with old money, old beliefs, things that were found at his home, windows. I mean, just certain things that you'd be like, if he even went out there and put it in the news, people would say he was trying to be controversial. And then on top of it, people that he held in high regards in the community before he became mayor, he started seeing the true side of them once he got on the inside and saw the underbelly. He saw what the former mayor left him with, what he let people get away with. He saw the unethical behavior with city councilmen, and he knew, you know what? If I stay in this position, I got to tear this city apart.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I need to worry about the safety of me and my family and my health, because not only am I stressing out and I'm getting high blood pressure because I see now what type of job I have on my hand. Now I'm getting opposition, and I see just how dangerous it can be. It could be a life or death situation. These are things that sometimes they just ain't gonna come out and admit, because if you do, you might have to tell who the ones you are fearing.
Yeah.
And that would be huge for you to throw that accusation out there. So some people will have to find a way to work better from behind the scenes once they get in there and they see, okay, man, that thing is dirty. It's filthy. Politics are filthy. Yes, get involved, but I didn't have enough support to stay in office.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know y'all think I probably did, but now that I look at everything and I see what's going on, it's gonna be too much for me to tell people from this seat. So now I got to get out of this seat and start trying to inform people another way to let them know, look, man, y'all better get involved, because there's people involved in this situation that's got their hands in it that don't mean none of y'all no good. And how far back it goes. A lot of the people in the public don't know. So it's a lot of responsibility with being a mayor. Once you get in that seat and you start finding out what's going on behind the scenes, it takes a special person. Everybody couldn't be a Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. You saw what the consequences. Everybody couldn't be a Colin Powell. You saw what Colin Powell did. Colin Powell, everybody thought Colin Powell was the next best thing to Superman. He was almost like Black Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll be the Black Republican first Black president. He was guaranteed to be the first Black president, and white people were in favor of it. He said, I
can't deal with that.
I don't want none of that. Matter of fact, y'all forget I even exist. I don't want no parts of this no more. Call me every 4 years and get my opinion on president. But other than that, man, I'm done with this, because this thing here is corrupt.
And see, and that's one of the things too that we spoke about as well, man. Something had to happen for her, because like I said, I never viewed her as being a quitter. And so something had to happen behind the scenes that make her want to just give up like that. And that's what we spoke on that, man, because she's not a quitter. I never seen her as being a quitter.
Colin Powell is it? Just think about it. I mean, you're talking about this in Atlanta. Let's go back to 9/11 and invading Iraq and how they did Colin Powell. That was a whole nother system of people that put a plan in place and then manipulated him to go along with it. And he was a stool pigeon. He took their word for it, and yeah, the information is correct. Our sources indicate that they got traveling labs that make weapons of mass destruction. He believed that he repeated a lie. They used him as a fool.
Yeah, yeah.
As strong as he was, they played him as a fool. And then on top of it, he realized that there was an agenda and a group of people behind it. And listen, if that man quits, you gotta know, if anybody powerful like that quits and give up, it let you know what? It's deeper than what the surface is.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to go sit down and talk to him and see, okay, maybe we should be maneuvering another way. Maybe just voting and protesting ain't enough, because she don't even want you voting no more. She said, keep him. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Give him somebody else.
And see, and see the thing about it, even if we sit down and have a conversation with Lance Bottom or Colin Powell or people of that level, certain things, Rico, they just can't say. Even out of office, there's certain things they're not gonna be able to speak on because of
what happened to Fred Hampton.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you go try to speak about it, even if you're not in office, you still, you still obligated to us. You still obligated to us, and you still obligated to keep some of this stuff to yourself, because we're gonna come and get you. Leonard, what you say to that?
I'm a big Colin Powell. I was all in support of Colin Powell because he was a military man, first of all. However, even though that he was on a Republican ticket, he maintained his integrity.
Yes.
And also the things that he did outside of that office. He's always been a person into charitable giving and doing things for people in the community and making sure that young African Americans had access to opportunities. And even Condoleezza, we look over people in certain positions, and sometimes we don't realize what they do or why they're doing it. But folks like Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice, and these are extremely intelligent individuals.
Yes.
Standing next to people who don't even compare to them in intellect. So the only way you can see a balance in a George Bush administration is because of a Condoleezza Rice and a Colin Powell sitting there, objecting to a lot of foolishness and bad decisions that probably, if they probably stood against a lot of things that could have happened. But we know that Condoleezza Rice was the power behind George Bush and, his father. So, and she has all the background, Condoleezza Rice, of a person who should be there, who understands racism. You know what I'm saying? She's a professor now.
Yeah.
She teaches now. But her upbringing and coming through Alabama, I believe, right, Rico?
Yes,
being born and raised born and raised, and very much the four little girls had an extreme impact on her. Because she talks about it, in her book. I got her book too. But when you look at a Colin Powell, he said, you know what? No, thank you.
Yeah.
When I'm finished with this oath I have taken, I'm done. I'm out. Because I can see where it's going. Look at Boehner. Look how early Boehner got out of the game.
Yeah.
Boehner wasn't half the bad guy that you see actor out here now in the Republican Party.
He did a 180, man. That man got out of office, man, and did.
And so we.
Everything he was legislating for, man.
Exactly. And now he's
weed.
And now he's selling weed.
Now you're the drug dealer.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
As soon as that seat got hot, he was gone. Because he knew somebody ought to go to jail.
Yeah. Wow.
When your attorney general got to go to jail, yeah, that pretty much reflects your administration.
Exactly. All right, here go the topic for today, gentlemen. I'm gonna send it the other way though. I'm gonna send it to the I don't like it going that direction. I want to change the direction of it here.
I ain't even understand that.
Can your spouse's child, now you got your own bank account, you and your wife got your bank account, y'all about to get married or whatever the case, and y'all have a joint bank account. y'all exhausted some of the money in the family bank account, but now the child needs something for school or whatever the case. And she come to you, say, look here, get Jimmy your card so he can go and get blah 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 for school. Can your spouse's child have your PIN number to your card? Rico, what do you say to that?
My spouse can't have my PIN number to my card unless it's for an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I might have it put up in a safe somewhere, you know, in case of emergency, break this glass. You know, all this information. I got a surprise for you. If there's ever a situation where you got to put me in the hospital and I can't respond, you know what I'm saying, go and break this glass. Now, she can't do it before then because I could come home and see that she broke it.
Yeah.
When she break it, then she'll have all the info she needs, all the PIN numbers and passcodes to Facebook or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But
where I hit the sock with all the money in and everything.
Exactly. You know, there's a little secret stash. The pattern that you got to use to beat the phone in the cabinet for the drawer to open up, like on Fred Sanford.
Exactly.
Man, you know, I wouldn't do that, man, but I would, you know, find some type of other avenue. Maybe get them a Cash App card. They can keep on them on. I have to do something first before I even ever got to that point where I trusted them. That's almost like leaving somebody as a benefactor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your insurance to handle your, you know what I'm saying, your state if something happened to you. So, you know, giving that type of information like access to somebody. I mean, what was that? I think the other day, the little boy ordered like 2,000 SpongeBob popsicles or something like that, man. I think it was 4,000.
Yeah.
4,000. So, you know what I'm saying? Just think about that. You know how that happened. I can remember when we were younger, my brother, he was more crazy about wrestling than I was. You know what I'm saying? I liked it, but at the same time, I knew it was, you know, somewhat fake. I get mad still. Like when somebody type of whoopness, I ain't like that. But my brother, not only did he really believe it, but he believed the people that was on the telephone. Like, you know, wrestling used to have a hotline number you could call. And man, my brother, he called every number that they put out between every commercial, man. You know, he didn't know the consequence behind it. He just knew that he thought he could talk to the wrestler.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when that phone bill came in, whoa. So that's the thing about it. See, he wasn't responsible enough to understand that action that he took. He didn't understand the consequences behind it. So that's what can happen with a child with that PIN number. They use it this one time, and this time they see something they want. Oh, all I got to do is use these numbers to get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't give up that PIN number at all.
Good deal. What do you say to that, Leonard? Could your spouse's child have your PIN number? Leonard, we can't hear you, brother. Hold on, you're muted. Leonard? Go ahead.
Usually you give somebody your PIN number because you're lazy. There's no reason why that child would need your PIN number. Think of one. Ain't no reason. So it's not a trust issue at all. It's an issue where the child just shouldn't have it. Because children are irresponsible. Just being children, you know. When you, I'm not like, say for instance with Rico, you know, having been my spouse has my stuff, you know, I don't have no problem with that. But there's no reason why, and I'm assuming when you say, like the way you said that question, am I supposed to assume that this child is not yours?
It's not your child. It's not biological. It's not your child.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just want to, you know, ask that because I'm like, oh, that must be one of those situations where that's the issue. But even my son, I can't think of a reason why I would give them my PIN number unless I was sending them to do something that I didn't want to do. I was being lazy. You know how people say go get their money at the bank.
You touched on it, Leonard. You touched on one of the things that I was going to cover in this conversation, and we'll go ahead and bring it to the forefront now. The trust element. Because a lot of people will say, I'm not, you know, they will say what they want to say. They'll dress it up and make it look real nice and real pretty, put a pretty little bow on it. but it boils down to trust. Do you trust them with your PIN number?
Do you trust your child with your PIN number?
See, now they're trying to get me in trouble. I got 4 daughters. He's trying to get me in trouble here. But yeah, I would say yes. I would say yes. But
okay, something wrong with y'all. Something wrong with y'all relationship.
It depends on the day and the situation. And honestly speaking, which child is it?
It just depends. Like I said, there's a relationship problem there. Because
the truth of the matter, I got 4 daughters, and some are a little more responsible than others.
So the answer is no. Then the answer really is no. You would with only a few of them, but you can't say
not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But I think you also running into another family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Why you trust your child more than hers?
My thing is the way I see it, and the way I view it is all of them are mine. All of them are mine. Well, I see what you're saying in that situation.
The visual delay.
Yeah, if they were not my child, yeah, that could be an issue.
Right, you being messy. You being messy again. That's what you doing.
Well, what do you mean?
Ain't that right, Rico? Rico, he being messy.
Being biased.
Yeah, exactly. Being biased.
You know, when your child needed, I don't know if I trust them. They ain't responsible enough. But your child,
that's a relationship problem.
Yeah,
a relationship problem.
But it depends. And what if it's my biological child that I'm talking about is not responsible enough, but the one that she has is more responsible, and I give it to him or her, and not my child though, not my biological child. What's the issue there?
No, that's almost like leaving the house key. You got one child that you could depend on to keep up with the house key, and one that even if you put it around their neck, they're gonna find a way to lose it. You're gonna find the child that might be most responsible for that house key, the latchkey children that exist nowadays, might be the second oldest.
Yeah.
First, the oldest child probably just can't get right because he's too busy out there trying to experience and learn, and ain't got nobody in front of him to show him, or her. So they probably just can't get right. So it takes that second child to look at the older brother and sister and learn, and from the parent. They got a little bit more responsibility about themselves. You know, you find that happens sometimes.
Exactly. Latoya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, family. How are you all?
Hey, doing good. Latoya, I'm gonna ask you the question, and I need to hear your heart on this because you being female, you may bring a totally different perspective. But can your spouse's child, and this is not your biological child, y'all got married, he already had the child. Can your spouse's child know your PIN number to your card?
Oh, it depends. Like, I have to have known that child. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I have a problem giving anybody my PIN number. You're gonna own my car, you can do all of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna pat your head if it's a problem. But at the end of the day, I have to have the same thing. Like, I'm not, even if it was my kid, if I know my kid is a thief, what the heck I'm gonna send my kid to the store for with my PIN card? Like, it doesn't matter, like, who the relationship is. Like, you need to know the basis of their nature. Like, are they thieves? Right? So as long as your kid ain't no thief, we good. You can go wherever. You can do whatever. Mom, you gonna give me my card? Not you, nigga. Last time I let you hold my card, honey, I told you go get 20. You brought back 60. You don't get my card no more because next time I'm gonna go break your leg. So it depends on the caliber of the individual. I don't do favorites. I don't choose. At work, I fire my mama, my sister, and my niece. Don't nobody get no extra privileges if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Period. Your kid, my kid, it don't make no difference.
Now, what would you say if he come to you, he say, look here, give him a card, and he go over there and get a couple of dollars out, get some gas in his car, and run a few errands for me. Give him your card. And you say, well, no, I'm not giving my card to that child because I don't trust him like that. And then they say, well, hold on, you don't trust me? They say, I'm telling you to do this for me. I'm not telling you to do it for the child. I'm telling you to do it for me. You don't trust me. How would you respond to that, Toya?
Well, clearly I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust you either if I say you don't make an underlying difference in what's going on because that's your child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But again, you got to talk about history, right? Because sometimes if you know your child is a thief, so now you're going to sit here and say, oh, because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
Who is you? You don't get to override what just happened. The child is a thief.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to walk around blind and act like you don't know what your child is. And then because of some history, you want to come tell me to give somebody something. That's a no-go for one. For two, even if you did tell me that, and you could be my husband, respect me, all that, what the heck that got to do with what I said?
Mm-hmm.
I said no. So who you think you are, which this is not no true so-called leader. If you send somebody to your wife and your wife say no, you're supposed to respect that and go sit down. You don't pull your weight or your husband's card because I said so. Who is you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you might be a halfway twisted kind of person. For instance, I don't believe in if I give my husband money, he got to pay me back.
Mm-hmm.
What? You know what I'm saying? So certain situations for me, I don't care what she said. Then I say, give me your debit card.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you heard what I said. I asked you for me. Boy, if you don't get on away from me because you're trying me, this is about control. So no, if I say no, it's no. But like I said, I be waiting on you to steal my card. I've been wanting to whoop some butts since 22 times. Here, take the card, baby. Go ahead. What you said? Give me the card. Go ahead. I triple dog dare you to get an extra dollar out there, and it's going down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Leonard, what do you say to that? She said, well, it's not an issue with you not trusting that child. You're not trusting me. And that's why you won't give him the card, because I asked you for the card, not for them, but for me. And you're not trusting me right now. What do you say to that, Leonard? Hold on, we got you muted again, brother. There you go. Oh, hold on. Let me do it, Leonard. There you go. There you go.
I don't believe in games like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it what you want to be. I don't owe you no explanation.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want a problem with me over your son and my PIN number, bring it. But what we're not going to do is go back and forth about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's mine. I can choose to do what I want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, you talk about other issues.
You might have.
Excuse me.
You might have an You might have an argument that night.
No, I'm not. I can guarantee you, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't argue.
Mm-hmm.
Not with my spouse. Oh no, I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing for us to argue about. Now, how other people run their relationships is different. And that's why you have situations like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, see, like I said, there's a problem in that. There's a dilemma there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, say, for instance, like you don't trust me. Okay, you just changed the conversation.
When you say there's a problem there, is it larger than that PIN number? Is the problem larger than that?
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason why I wouldn't get into a relationship that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not going to go back and forth about anything. I don't want that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my kids are my children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not, God bless those individuals making blended families work that can do it. But I can imagine what they go through when there's these types of things that happen where someone will say, oh, you don't trust me.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's different. That's different. Because it wasn't about me not trusting you.
Mm-hmm.
It was about me not trusting that particular child for whatever reason.
That done stole my car, stole my PIN number before, got money off my dresser that didn't belong to them. I didn't trust that at the acts of that child. And now you're trying to interject yourself into this thing. I feel what you're saying. We go talk to him. Hit your mute button there. There you go.
It wouldn't be fair for them to do that. It would be actually disrespectful for them to come at you like that. See, that's the tactic that bullies you. Try to manipulate you, and by pressure, leverage. So they'll start weighing in on your emotions. Oh, so this is the way you feel about me then. If you don't accept my friend, then you don't accept me.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Wait a minute. Your friend a child molester. Oh, if you don't accept my brother or my sister, then you don't accept me. But wait a minute, your brother a murderer. No, I ain't fixing to accept that. You know, so for your spouse to even not respect your boundaries, yeah, the problem is way deeper than that pen number. Number one, ain't no common sense involved. Somewhere you might have married some eye candy for her to even fix her antenna in her mind to even come at you like that, because that's elementary school pressure. See, to me, I wouldn't play that neither. I cut somebody's head all the way off so bad to the point where they'll hate me. I'm gonna tell you the truth. A lot of people hate me because I don't tolerate that kind of pressure. And I call you on it. And you know how it is. A lot of times when people get exposed for being liars and thieves, they like to look at you. Well, that's what you get for being so nosy. You shouldn't have been looking no way. Like, matter of fact, well, we talking about the PIN numbers and money. The government gave everybody a PIN number with these PPP loans, right? So they put a list out. And for the past few weeks, you've been hearing people going around here bragging about the car they've been buying and this and that. Man, yeah, I've been doing it like this and I ain't have to get no loan. I ain't have to get no loan. And so that list came out and they got the loan. And they committed fraud. So now they looking crazy and they're actually trying to blame people for being nosy enough to go, what y'all going on there looking to see who got it for? Y'all should have got it too. No. We going on there to see how many of y'all was so greedy enough to take that bait. Y'all this might have been a ploy put in place just to purge the streets of people with low character. Because I mean, this would be a perfect opportunity to get those and expose those people in our community that are so greedy to commit fraud at any level, because that's what that list proved. And I went down that list, I saw people that I liked, and I'm like, oh man, I'm embarrassed for them, because when I saw their name, I pictured greed. I pictured manipulation. I pictured criminal. And some people don't mind it. And so now they mad. They mad at the people that actually went and looked at the list, because that the list exposed that you are a liar.
Toy, you want to talk to me, sis? Toya, with a T, you there? Toya, wake up and go to sleep. I think Toya called in so you can get her best sleep when she called in. Leonard, talk to me, man. There's this PPP thing, man. A lot of people are gonna get locked up or have some repercussions behind getting those loans. What do you say to that? Was it greed?
Well, I mean, it's always going to be greed. That's always going to be it. But the thing is people don't understand how the game works. You got to learn how to play the game. The program is set up specifically for a certain person. It's for a person who is a legitimate business individual, who has followed the rules, who can prove they are who they say they are. That's who that money is for. Now, like Rico said, you gonna be exposed because it ain't for you. It's not for you. When half the people that think they got it going really look at the criteria for what the government recognized as a legitimate business, you got to be able to prove who you are. You can't operate based on, I hope they don't check. Come on now, we know how it go. Just because they do a background check, they ask you to fill out the paperwork, don't mean they do it. But trust me, when they want to find out, when they get the extra time, like FEMA money and all that, they come back after them people. I know folk that don't been to jail behind the FEMA scams. So it's the same way with everything. And, you know, being a business consultant, boy, my brothers and sisters ain't no joke. Y'all will do some things that, you know, and you halfway know how to cheat. You got to know how to cheat from beginning to end if that's what you're about. And you shouldn't need help doing it.
Listen, I know some people, man, that when I tell you they definitely should have been educated enough to do this, but they did. And not only did they do it, but they got the whole family involved, man. When I tell you her and the 7 or 8 kids she got, they going to jail.
Oh, man.
Man, I looked down and said, not only did she get it, but her children got it too. Oh, my goodness. $20,000 a piece, almost $100 and some thousand dollars.
It's like we're helping people with taxes.
Some people use the same address. They use trailers and apartments.
Yeah.
For businesses,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Yep. Trust me, ain't a hustle I don't know.
Man, look at here. If a situation like that, all of them got like $20,000 a piece, they should have got their money. All they got their money together, moved to Mexico, and bought themselves a house in Mexico and lived over there, bro.
Look, if you started your business because you heard about a loan, if that's why you started your business, listen to what I'm telling you. That loan was for people who were in business.
Yeah.
Who had lost business to the pandemic. Who could prove that they lost business. Come on, man. If you go play the game, you got to go get an education to play this game. That's what education is for. It teaches you to play the game. As a business consultant and helping people with taxes, I let them know I don't cheat, buddy. There's too many ways to get it legally than cheat.
Yeah.
But you know what they said, though? If Trump can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, of course. Everybody else doing it. That's the whole thing. Your Honor, everybody else was doing it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Situation like that, if I was gonna be crooked like that, man, I would have got all of us would have got it. But like I said, I put our money together. Okay, now we're gonna get us a plane ticket. We're going to Mexico. We're going to like that. We're gonna buy us a house. We're gonna buy us a house right there, and we're gonna live right there. We ain't coming back to America. No, you can't come back. I ain't coming back. Whatever you left here, go stay here.
We always say we want to go back to Africa. Here is our chance. They just gave us a ticket, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is, man. Because, like I say, once you leave, you can't come back. Because as soon as you step on this soil, they coming to get you.
They might come across the water to get you.
OG told me, right? My OG told me, I had asked him one time, how did y'all guys stay out of trouble? You know what he said? He said it costs a lot of money to stay out of trouble.
Oh, yes, sir.
It costs a lot. It's not that we didn't get in trouble, but we were able to pay our way out.
Yeah.
See, any dirt you do costs you. And you have to be ready to pay it.
Yeah, you got to pay the plate, brother.
And it's sad that, one, you didn't have the idea of being in business until you heard about the loan. So think about it. You just create a business for the loan. That reeks of fraud.
Yeah.
You know, claiming or you know, something as simple as you know, many people had legitimate home businesses. The criteria was pretty broad. But it's like with people that ask me about taxes. If you ain't been filing, I need to know why you ain't been filing. Because I need to let you know what's going to happen if any refund to you is due or whatever. Or think about it. If there's a accounting on your side, there's an accounting on another side. And you can't say one thing and the person you messing with saying something else.
Yeah. It doesn't line up. Doesn't line up.
One of y'all going to act in your own best interest, and that's going to trample on the other person. You know, you just have to be wiser. But when you see the money grab, people going to grab the money, man, if you put it out there.
Exactly. Tori, you want to tee you back with us?
I am.
Oh, good.
You know, it's hard to stay focused on y'all because I'm in Puerto Rico, so it's hard to stay focused because I'm up trying to do other things, but I'm here.
Now, how's the weather?
It's beautiful. Don't get me started. It's like 90 degrees. And the only thing is I can't flush the toilet down the toilet. Other than that, it's beautiful.
You can't flush the toilet?
I mean, the toilet gets down the toilet. I'm sorry, my bad.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. How much dancing have you done?
How many what?
How much dancing have you done?
You already know. I'm still dancing. All I got to do a carpet ride by with some music playing, and it's a what?
think Toya with a T ain't gonna dance. She's gonna dance now. Toya with a T gonna dance for you. But Toya, what do you think about this whole PPP situation and people fraudulently trying to get this money?
Oh wow, that's crazy. Well, you know, you said who? Me? Okay.
This whole PPP situation.
No, it's no bueno. You know, I mean, listen, that's what makes it complicated, right? Don't be stealing, man. What's the problem? And then people are like, oh, the white man. No, it ain't the white man, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just the government. Oh, it ain't the man. No, what you stealing for?
Mm-hmm.
The whole world just had a deadly global, like, whole situation that could possibly potentially shut everything down. Like, we could be in a real weird place right now. And the only thing you come up with is stealing money? Come on with the door. They're going to get everything they deserve. Straight up. No commissary. Don't be calling me asking me, cigarettes. Don't be writing me no letters because you're a dummy. Straight up. You just watch what we went through.
Yeah.
So don't be talking about nobody else is our enemy. Nobody else is our enemy. We are our own enemy. Ain't nobody come over here doing nothing to us. You're stealing from us. Our own people come to joke. So trust me. Trust me. When them rocks come tumbling down, I'm going to be one of them because you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. So you know my ears to the ground. You know I know people. I gotta ask why you doing that. It's because they only know it's not, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even get a PPP loan, even though I had a business last year. It's still processing. Come on with the joke.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, when them cookies crumble, I hope you setting some ties off. I hope you telling people you doing stuff for your family. I hope you doing the right thing. Because when the feds come, I'm telling you, bro, you're going to be up in jail. And you're going to be like, oh, don't nobody love me. But you ran around here doing all the stuff that you know better than.
Mm-hmm.
When them cookies crumble, baby, it's going to be more than cookie dough. So no, I'm not with it. I'm too grown for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That used to be my life. I'm not going to tell you no lie, but I was really good at what the heck I did. And when I do what I do, I do what I do. But I done grown away from that. I done started every from my ways, man. Them things is no bueno. They no bueno. So, you know, go ahead and get caught. I don't think it's gonna be a good look for anybody. You know, especially with them with this 5G and they talk about connecting everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think this is gonna turn out well in probably the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, because folks can't be talking about, man, you can get that PPP loss and now I'm good. I said, you know, and I got a business. I got all my paperwork and everything. They said, man, you can get that. No, I'm good, man. It don't seem some don't seem right with that, man. It don't seem right.
Also,
mm-hmm.
I caution you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was definitely a good program.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a business owner, you were a business owner who went through those issues.
Mm-hmm.
But see, not being able to take advantage of the opportunity because you did not know how to is just as bad as the abuse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the very simple fact is that, one, the gap is you're not sure about why you shouldn't take the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But the opportunity was there.
Yeah.
It is incumbent upon anybody to go and learn this.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to quit acting like education, American public education ain't no good.
Mm-hmm.
Had you got that public education, it would have taught you how to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's all a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all a game. And if you educate yourself on the rules of the game, you'll know how to play it better. And you can go and you can confidently take that loan because you have a business plan. You know what to do with that money. You know exactly what you're doing because you're taking that loan to improve and invest in your business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I certainly cannot say that you're wrong in that.
But be ready next time.
Okay, me and Leonard are gonna sit down. We're gonna get it the next time. Next time we come, me and Leonard are gonna sit down. We're gonna get this PPP loan, and I'm gonna put it some of y'all on what's that on the payment on the what you call the thing, employment roll, on the payment roll, payroll.
You have to do that before you get the loan, or you'll be doing just like the other people.
Exactly. Their business started the loan thing.
Yeah, I got some employees. I'm working for you. I'll call you back tomorrow and tell you after I find something.
I'm looking for him right now. I'm looking for him.
Oh.
They just quit. Now, I don't know how many people quit. They went broke and ran out of gas.
Yeah. You know they gas shortage. You know what Russia done did? Russia froze the gas pipes. You know how they couldn't make it work. They'll be here next week though. They'll be here next week.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something funnier than that about us. Because of COVID and the Secretary of State shut down, I don't need to register my license. Because of COVID, I can ride around and I don't even have to register my car.
Shoot. Okay. Try that. Try it. Hey, let me see how that work out for you.
Hey, let's break the law now. They ain't taking nobody to jail because of COVID, man. We can get away with anything right now.
Exactly.
Okay. They say that I'm from a place where, bruh, if you tell people the jail full and they ain't taking no more customers.
What? You mean I get to, and they ain't gonna take me to jail? Oh,
Rico, that thing will jump off, won't it?
Yeah, man.
Oh my, look out! I'm coming through the door.
They let people out, huh?
Oh my goodness!
People out.
That's why I tell people, man, you can't hate on people who study you. You can't hate on people who study behavior and use that to make their business decisions, because that's how you become successful.
Yeah. Good. Let me do this right here. I want to go to our Toya with a T real quickly, and then I want to address Badger. We got Badger with us this morning as well. But Toya with a T, you there?
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to thank you, since you're over there in Puerto Rico on your vacation, and you still make time to be a part of what we're doing this morning. I want to say thank you, sis. I really want to say thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Y'all my family, man. Yesterday I was like, oh, I missed the show. I feel off. So I was like, okay, when I got this morning, let me get ready and call in, man. Call for my family.
There you go.
What time is it over there?
Huh?
What time is it in the island?
8:34.
Okay. Good deal. But listen, like I said, I just wanted to thank you, sis, for taking the time to call in this morning. And we're looking for you tomorrow. Whenever you get, we want you to have a good time. But if you can, I gotta write this on my PPP. So make sure you.
I know that's right. No, I'm having a good time. It's early, man. I'm gonna go get me some breakfast. But like I said, I got an appointment. Believe it or not, with John Austin's office, and we're supposed to be doing a live.
Okay.
Just trying to reach out to them about some things in the community, the economic plans they have, immigration, the HR policy. So I'm gonna be getting off the line in a few minutes. I'm not sure if I'll be back on, but I think the meeting will be like at 12 when I'm trying to get it to go stream y'all live. Okay. So I'm about to hop up for a second, grab me some breakfast and get myself in. So I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground for this time. That the appointment is at 9:30. So I'm gonna be in the background. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be on the show until y'all get off, because I absolutely can't no more. Okay. But let's hear. When you get
you know what I'm curious about right here?
What's that?
Is do people understand about part of these loans and relief and things like that? Remember in the beginning the CARES Act and how it was directed for nonprofit organizations, and the nonprofit organizations were included churches.
Yes,
and that's when how some people don't want to accept that churches are corporations. They're nonprofit corporations, and there was money there for nonprofit corporations. Now, if you had a church, you know how we are about our churches. Most of these poor Black churches, or what have you, how many of them took advantage of that, or were able to take advantage of those loans? Now, the larger churches that hire and employ people, They understand that because these churches are so big that now they have several employees and staff. And so those people lost money. They didn't have employment and things like that. And these programs were set up to help them as well. It's just having the people in place that are able to take advantage of it, to translate that information to those things that we need in the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But check and see if any of your churches took advantage of those opportunities.
I promise you they didn't. I promise you they didn't. Badger, good morning, Badger. How you doing this morning?
It's another blessed and beautiful day.
Yes, sir. Why your volume seem low, me, Badger?
I have no idea. You got something new going.
Yeah, we got a new little situation going on here. But Badger, let me ask you this question, brother.
Is that better?
Huh?
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Good deal. Can your spouse's child know your PIN number? Can your spouse's child know your PIN number? If your spouse, y'all got something going on, and your spouse child needs something, and she come to you and say, look here, give him your PIN number so we can go over there and get what he needs, and he'll bring your card back. Can your spouse's child know your PIN number?
Oh yeah, because they're my children too.
No. I mean, if they're not your biological, if they're not
I knew exactly what Badger was gonna say.
I know, me too. I was ready for him. But if they're not your biological kids, can they have your PIN number?
I don't see why not, unless they're not trustworthy.
And let's say if they do have a history of not being trustworthy, if they have a history where they've taken stuff that didn't belong to them, and they've done this, you all have disciplined them several times for this very reason. Now the day comes where they need something for school, if you will, need some new sneakers or something. She said, give him your PIN number. He's gonna go over to the mall, pick up the shoes, and bring your card back. How comfortable would you be with that?
I'd be sitting down with her and going, are you sure that's a good idea? Because I don't think she would be that dumb. It'd probably be one of us taking him to the store to go get what he needs for school or what they need for school. I don't. It's really hard for me to understand the question you're asking, because that boils down to how much their brain works.
So you said that she can't be too intelligent in asking you that question, basically.
He or she. That makes no sense. If you know the child's a thief or does things that they shouldn't be doing and hasn't proven that they're trustworthy in any capacity, that makes no sense. There's no logic to that whatsoever.
Well, she could say that person could say, well, you don't trust me either, because I'm asking you to do it for me. I'm not asking for the child. I'm asking you to do it for me. So why can't you trust me in this and give him the card?
So are you the one teaching them the steal? That's a whole level of, if they pull that kind of card, then to me that's, oh, so you're the one teaching them this stuff. So why am I even with you?
You're just as nasty as they are, huh?
Yeah. The topic of today, I'm too logic minded to answer that question, because it don't make no sense.
It makes a lot of sense. As a situation that happened a lot more than what you would think that it would happen.
Oh, that don't surprise me at all in this society.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
In some cases, it might be a case of the spouse being in denial about the children being that way. And sometimes when a spouse is in denial, then they're enabling them to continue being the little thieves or pickpockets or untrustworthy people that they are, irresponsible, unaccountable. All that plays a part in that. I like what he said about it, depending on if they're untrustworthy or not. And then, like I said, it's a responsibility factor too. You might think that child is responsible enough to use the numbers, but they might not be responsible enough to understand it. They can't pay for their friends. They might say, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get yours too. I mean, they might follow instructions very well. It could be a situation where you got a child that, you know, when you give them instructions and they fulfill those instructions, you get them something that they need to take to school. Make sure you get it to your teacher. And when you give it to her, you tell her this specifically. So they'll put this money towards this. Telling you, I can remember at times going and doing bank transactions for my parents before. Telling them I wanted this to go into the debit or whatever. I mean, it was just different times. I wanted this to go into the checking. You know, and I'm like, man, it's crazy that even came up. But I do remember now being sent into the bank before when I was younger, telling them that I want to deposit this in my checking. I didn't know nothing about checking or savings. You know, I didn't find out till later on in life. So, you know, it's a responsibility thing. You know, sometimes a parent will try you. Little by little, they give you different assignments. See how you handle it. That way they know you can be that child that get that PIN number to. You can be that child that relays the information to the teacher or the principal that needs to be relayed. You can be the child that they get a house key to and say, look, don't let nobody in my house. When you get home from school, I'm going to be a little late today. I got a meeting. I got a doctor's appointment. So when y'all get out that school bus, you get in here, you unlock that door, you know, because sometimes you have to put yourself in a situation to do that. You might be a single parent, you know, so it's not even about your spouse children, it's even your children, you know. So if you don't have a babysitter, a significant other, somebody in the family that's pretty much like a support system, they can help you out when you need to get stuff done, you might have to depend on your children. Some people depend on their children to babysit the other sibling. A lot of responsibility in that.
And you said exactly where I was about to go. Responsibilities. Do we sometimes give these kids too many responsibilities?
Sometimes they do, but they have no choice. I mean, you know, when you grow up fast, you know, like I said, sometimes it ain't good to be first. Sometimes you could be the first one to have a baby. You could be the first one to get married, straight out of high school, but you wasn't ready. You really didn't know what life was about to get married. So now you got these children and already divorced. You know, it ain't got to be so negative. Maybe it could be just a death, something natural happened. It wasn't nothing bad relationship wise. Maybe he was in an accident or she was in an accident. So now here it is. You're a single parent at 20 years old and you got 2 or 3 children already. You might have to depend on somebody. You may have come out of foster care. I met somebody one time that was in foster care and his significant other was in foster care. So that means whatever child they had, if they would have been married, would have been the child of 2 foster parents that probably didn't have the support system from either side. So imagine when they're going through all the tribulations of life, who they could depend on.
Wow.
So sometimes you have to put that effort into children to make them responsible enough and build their character so you can trust them because y'all only can depend on each other.
Leonard, and this whole question, and the premise of this question is: Can your spouse can your spouse's child know your PIN number? It's really gearing back to and what is based on the foundation of it is trust, or the lack of trust in a relationship. Do we always go into the relationship with the right ideas, with the right intentions, and with the right trust level? What do you say to that, Leonard?
Man, you know who you with. Look at it. You ain't even. What's their background? Why are you that close to them if you don't trust them? I mean, it's not just this one time.
Let me say this to you real quick. Leonard, I'm gonna say this to you, and then I'm gonna let you go ahead on and go where you want to go with it. But big butt, baby Hannah smile. Big butt, baby Hannah smile. It'll make you be with somebody sometime you don't want to be with. Big butt, baby Hannah smile. Come on now, let's talk.
Man, stop. I don't get out like that. Whatever it is, it's gonna be. You're supposed to be protecting it. What does that have to do with trusting anyone? I mean, you shouldn't be that. A lot of brothers, have
been blind. Big butt, baby Hannah smile. They've been blind.
But if you out here risking it like that, you deserve what you get anyway.
But would you agree with me?
If you're that dumb,
would you agree with me that a lot of fellas do that? Big butt, baby Hannah smile has lured a lot of people in, man. And you know them girls ain't no good, man. You don't see what.
But it don't matter. It ain't about them being no good. Ask them how much it costs, and if you can afford it, pay them.
Rico, let's talk for a second. Big butt, baby Hannah Smile. How many fellas have fallen victim to a big? And you know this girl, she was with what's her name, and she did him like that. Now she with you, acting the same. The characteristics of her have not changed. She just got that big butt, baby Hannah.
All the time. That happens all the time, man. People leave people for superficial reasons. Sometimes they leave them because they get too old and they ain't looking as firm and good as they used to. As you get older, you might not be in as good a shape and you might not perform as well in bed. So they might leave you for that because they want something younger and more fresh. I mean, so there's so many different reasons, but that is one of the reasons, one of the superficial reasons that a man can get with a woman. But yeah, I sort of want to go back to what you were saying about that spouse child going to depend on. This is an obvious situation that could happen. Sometimes we have people that get up in their 80s that have to depend on their stepchildren, be their caregiver. And sometimes the one stepchild that they could depend on to be that caregiver is the most crooked one. They ain't got nobody else. When you in your 90s, you know what I'm saying? You might have to get what you can get, especially if you're trying to avoid being in a nursing home. You might have to stay at home a lot of times by yourself while they run into the casino overnight. But you can't tell nobody because ain't nobody else concerned enough. These are people that's showing you the most concern. The ones that's giving you the least attention, but at least it's more than what you would be getting.
Yeah.
So, in some cases, you might have to give that child that PIN number because you can't maneuver the way you used to. You can't go to the store the way you used to. You can't handle your business the way you used to, pay your bills, go and make bank transactions. So this person, the only person you could depend on right now to take you to doctor's appointments and cook for you and care for you is the only person that can go into your bank account. And I mean, I know situations like that. I mean, I know a situation like that personally where, after the man died, man, when I tell you they ran through his money, and went to line, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, but, I said it wasn't anything anybody could do about it because the other people involved did not take the opportunity to go in and make as much effort taking care of him before he died. So I knew that she was going to justify doing that because I'm the only one taking care of him. But see, she knew she wasn't right by it because it was over $250,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it went crazy with it. Just went to telling lies, man, taking vacations and saying that her daughter-in-law's job sent them on a 2-week vacation. I mean, man, 2 years. No, sometimes I think one time it happened twice in 1 year. I'm like, well, how many times the AIDS clinic gonna send somebody on a 2-week vacation? What kind of job you doing? I was just like, man, it's crazy, man. But yeah, sometimes old people, they don't have a choice, and so when we look at it from that point of view, they don't have an option. That might be something that needs to be looked at. I mean, because from our point of view, we're looking at it from us being young and spry and able to move around and do everything we want to do. But what about when we get in our 80s and 90s and we don't have a spouse anymore, but the only people around are the children that they had from a previous marriage? Maybe the one that got out of prison after doing 20 years. That I got to depend on to come and wipe my butt, take me to the doctor. You get what I'm saying? Go to the store and buy me some Depends, Ensure. So I mean, get my vitamins in my prescription.
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes you have to depend on these people, and they don't have it's not an option on whether or not they can give them their PIN number. They got to, and I think I hate to go that way, but with that question being right there, that is a scenario that exists, and a lot of people might need to think of when we are forgetting about our elderly.
Yeah. Toya with a T, you with us, sis? Toya over there partying La Vida Loco. She over there doing the thing. Badger, talk to me, Badger. What do you say to that? Sometimes there's no choice.
Well, that's what protective services are for. To me, it's one of those things. If you and
Come on.
If a person is looking through rose-colored glasses,
Mm-hmm.
then to me there's a bigger issue. And I would hope that there is people around that is aware of it and attempt to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for elderly that are in those kinds of situations, because we should be taking care of them. That's why I'm a firm believer in community. You know, it's very different. Um, I'm kind of grateful because a lot of where I grew up, a lot of people would look out for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of felt sorry for me because they saw what I went through. I wish they would have did more, but at least they offered me a friendly home and stuff like that to hang out and get away from the craziness. So it's just it's hard for me to comment on that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. Leonard, what do you say to that, Leonard? If sometimes dealing with our elderly, sometimes they have no choice in that situation, and they have to give their card to somebody that may not be as trustworthy as they would like for them to be.
It is a sad, situation, and grew up with my mother being that person for lots of different people,
Mm-hmm.
and she was also a hospice nurse, and she did private duty nursing as well
Mm-hmm.
for certain people, and so. And my godmother, that was her profession as well as a nurse, visiting nurse. And the attachment that they would have to long-term patients. And one thing you realized about white people grow old and depend on their money, really. Black
Mm-hmm.
people grow old, and because there's usually very little money, they have to depend on family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can't afford these overpriced uh, senior living facilities and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So think about it. When you go into some of these facilities, you know exactly who they're for by the
Mm-hmm.
cost.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also, even if you deal with anyone helping anybody, running errands, and this is one thing good Christians usually learn to do, especially if you grew up in a missionary Baptist church,
Mm-hmm.
you helped someone,
Mm-hmm.
someone you were helping, some elderly you were looking in on, at least one person.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people would tell you they met the people that they trust more than family at the church. And they would come into people that they could trust you got some people got 4 and 5 kids. They get sick, they don't even come see them.
Mm.
And we used to have this situation where usually you go to the county hospital for long-term care of elderly people. But, once everything becomes privatized, it's a whole market now. So there aren't many people, can go to a county hospital like where my aunt would be.
Mm-hmm.
But, think of the number of our people who got, especially if we're diabetic and we are not, can't get around very well, confined to beds. Some of these people you go and you see bed sores,
Mm.
all sorts of things, or people who are
Horrible
incontinent
things, man. Horrible things.
and need care and can't get it. You know, I've seen people, if it wasn't for family, it'd be horrible.
Mm.
So it's good to like make friends and develop with someone that you can trust. And older people, a lot of times, they know that one kid they can trust or that one person that they can trust.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know how, even in the crack epidemic, how them grandmothers wouldn't even leave their purse around their kids
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they steal from them. And you know how it you know how it is in the hoods when people were just stealing from their mama and grandmama, and it was just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that you can't trust nobody.
Exactly.
You know, if somebody will call me, for instance, and say, if something happened to me, would you do this, that, and the other? Well, what about your kids? You can't trust your kids. Or, you know, or like a spouse that you can't trust. People in that situation.
Rico,
you know, that's how some people are.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm not gonna say, Rico, what the crime is, but just say somebody have acquired a lot of money, and then them folks come and get them, and they got to do 3 to 5 years, something like that. Who do they trust their money to anybody, or they just leave it where it is and say, well, when I get out, I know I got this amount of money right here? Because I've seen situations where people has gone in with a lot of money, and the person that they trusted, man, Rico, they come back, man. Ain't no more money left. Ain't no more money left.
Yeah, you know that scenario plays out different ways, man. I've seen people go in and had women that made that money make more money for them when they came out.
Yeah,
I've seen people go into jail and come out, and you know the money stayed put. You know, the person that they trusted put the commissary on for them. Some people kept the business going from jail. Grateful Edmonds up in Washington D.C., Baltimore, he did it. He sold more drugs while he was in federal prison than while he was out. He had the best plug in his life while he was in prison. He never met her a day in his life, but he got the cheapest cocaine you could ever find while he was in prison. He still ain't been released. So just think about how much money he made while he was locked up. So sometimes people do trust that money in their business. Then you have some situations where the person that got that money, man, it's like they hit the lottery and they'll fool with no abandon.
Yeah.
I know a situation back here one time where a guy went to jail, and you know how it is when you hustling, man. Sometimes a dude don't want everybody to eat on his team. He just want a bunch of do boys. But he kept a good team because his charisma was so high around town that everybody liked him. Everybody knew him. He was the talk of the town. So sometimes men would feel like they had higher value just being in his circle. He had a good supply of do boys. That's what we used to call them, do boys. He'd tell them to dance and they dance. Just to get a joke, you know what I'm saying? So he went to jail. And the one that was the most pitiful had all the connects. He was the one doing all the work. He just wasn't making the money. And now he can make the money. He took off with that man money and flipped it and went to buying cars, man, and did not take that man nothing when he went to jail. That man got out of jail about 1.5 years later. I saw him beat him up 8 times in one day.
Good Lord.
He beat him up and then he'd leave and he'd come back and beat him up again. He didn't stop beating him up until he finally fought him back. And on top of that, he took everything that he bought after he went to jail because he knew his money paid for it.
Wow.
Terrorizing. So, I mean, you know, it happens sometimes, man. I mean, sometimes people stay loyal, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes people get greedy and they act like they did with the PPP loan. Free money, let me get it.
Yeah. And see, that's a lot of, there's a lot of ways, different ways that could play itself out, man, because I've seen both sides of the coin as well, man. I've seen some, you know, some go in, man, and come out, man, thinking, well, when I get out, man, I got this money, I can start this business, I can do this. Come out, man, and they ain't got a dime, but they got to start over from day one because the money's gone. People on the outside say we still had to live, we still had to do this, we still had to do that. You know, you're the source of you're the main source of income for the family. You gone, ain't no money coming in, we got to live, and so they lived off that particular money right there. And they come home, man, and they sick because ain't no more money.
Never.
Ain't no more money. What, Leonard? Go ahead, brother.
No, man, I'm just listening because of how you said it, right?
Yeah,
ain't no more money.
Ain't no more money. Money
ain't
gone.
No more money.
None. Money gone.
Ain't no more of that money. It's some money out here. It's some money out here. That money you had put up.
You better jump back in that saddle. Gotta jump back in that saddle and ride the horse again.
It's back out there somewhere.
Exactly. Hold on for a second. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Well, this is Bishop, man.
Hey, Bishop, what's going on with you?
We're good, Bishop.
I wanted to make sure I called in Early for the day and late for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. And you did exactly that. Hey, Leonard.
My spouse's child can know my PIN number. And my spouse asked me to give her the card, so her in the card, so they go to the store and do what they need to do. Then I hold her responsible because she asked me to do X, Y, and Z. But I should establish a relationship with the individual well enough to have enough confidence in order to do that. If the person has not shown themselves worthy to have access to my information, then I won't give it to them, regardless of whether she tells me to or not. I think I was listening to Leonard when he spoke most definitely to Raheem. To Rico. And, what they said made a lot of sense. And I love it. I have to agree with, what they were saying in totality. Rico had me really laughing. They talk about the man getting out of prison and did that just 8 times in one day. Well, mess with my money.
Exactly. But how much does trust play into that, Bishop? Because she said to you, I know he used to steal. He went to jail for stealing and stuff like that. He's trying to get himself back on track. He's trying to get himself back on track right now, and he just need a couple of new clothes. He's gonna go down to the Goodwill, get him some new clothes, and he needs your car to go get the car. Now you say you don't trust him. I'm not asking you for him. I'm asking you for me. Trust me, Bishop. What do you say to that?
Well, I tell her, with all respect, I'm not gonna be the guinea pig. You want him to get something, you go buy it for him. I think that'd be the best recourse as it relates to that. If she ain't got time, when you got time, then you go get whatever you need. But for the purpose of making sure that home stays intact, I'm not going to give him my card regardless. So you get in the business. When you say coming out of prison, I'm looking at this person has done something, find themselves incarcerated, and so I'm not going to take a chance. I don't care how much you love me, and you'll do it if you love me. Where if you love me, you won't put me in that kind of situation.
Wow.
So, I have a problem with somebody messing with my money. I work hard for it. I don't love it. But if you're going to try to take mine in a deceptive way, it's going to be a problem.
There's consequences and repercussions. Badger, what do you say to that? The guy just got out of jail, just trying to get his life back together. That's all he's trying to do. And need a little help. Now go on and get a man a car, let the man go on down there and get him some new clothes and go start interviewing for jobs. What do you say to that, Badger?
I'll take him down there.
Wow. And Badger can leave it right there. Rico, talk to him.
What else should I say? It's not that complicated.
Exactly. Go ahead, Rico.
If she look me in my face and say something like that, I'm gonna be looking at her the whole time. And she ain't gonna be realizing I'm trying to think of an escape route. What kind of excuse can I use to break up with her? She is done. Did she actually just say this out her mouth? Oh, I know he used to steal. He just got out, but you can trust him, huh? So you crazy too? I'm gonna be thinking to myself, how did I slip her? How she get by? How did I let her get involved with me?
Big butt, baby hand a smile. Big butt, baby hand a smile, brother.
Yeah, I'm about to change my life. I done made a mistake. And she ain't got him. All bread ain't done. She want me to believe it too. She think I'm gonna tell you, I had a friend one time, man, went to jail. He went to jail for this guy I was telling you about a second ago. The one that had the do boys. Well, one of my friends, he wanted to be one of his do boys. He sent him around the corner, had him to sell to an undercover and got him his first charge. And we knew he did. He was in jail in another city. So I go down there to see him, and I swear, man, the whole time, I'm young, I'm like 18 years old. I'm thinking to myself, man, it's gonna be so depressing going to see him down here like this, man. I mean, I'm feeling the closer and closer I'm getting to the jail, I'm almost getting sad. It's almost like I'm going to a funeral. I don't want to see my boy like this, man. I get down there and I see him, and he grinning ear to ear. All I see is gold teeth. I'm like, man, I said, man, it's so good to see you, man. I sure hate to see you in here like this. Man, we all right, man. We be out here having a good time. We be down here wrestling and playing cards. I like wrestling and playing. I'm like, wait a minute. You ain't supposed to be having a good time. So I was like, I started second guessing our friendship right there. I was like, man, I said, I don't know about this. Then he kept on, he said, man, I got something I want to ask you in a minute. Give me a few minutes, I'm gonna talk to you about it. So I finally got ready to leave. I was like, man, I said, what is it you want to ask me? I'm like, man, I know you my boy, man. You my boy. You the only one that came down here and see me, man. But I'm gonna see if you'll do something for me. I'm like, what? Man, see if you could buy a big bottle of lotion and pour all that lotion out, and then put an ounce of weed in the bottom of it, and then put the lotion back on top of it. Man, you can make a lot of money like that. I looked, I said, you know what?
You're trying to get me here with you.
He finna get me locked up when I said he dismissed. Not only am I not gonna do it, but we ain't friends no more. When I leave you today, it's over.
Yeah.
You're trying to trick me up into here. Now, I don't know if you're trying to set me up or not, but even if you weren't trying to set me up, you're trying to encourage me to take that risk. When you was already a fool, you shouldn't even be up in here, because this is the same way you got set up. Go around the corner and say him this 20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I said, you really have to look at the mindset of people when they even ask you to do certain things and know, okay, I ain't lowering my standards, and they disrespecting my boundaries. Not only they may not be disrespecting your boundary, they might just be testing you to see how gullible you are.
Yeah.
And that's disrespectful in itself, if you ask me. So, I'm like, man, I cut him off. I said, I said, he ain't got to worry about us being friends no more.
Yeah, exactly. And to this day,
it's over. We see each other now, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like a speak or whatever, man. But hey, you forget we was running partners.
Yeah. Because, like I say, if he had your best interest, he would put you in a situation or try to put you in a situation.
Like that.
Nah.
Don't have me nothing like that.
Exactly. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
Oh man, I'm just like, having been an advisor when it comes to business and things like that, but relationships and all types of stuff, man. Even in it, that's just clearly illegal. The risk involved with not being in control. One thing I like about guys who came out of that lifestyle, and why I really applaud them, like the Jay-Z's and all those guys that came out of hip hop, and how they got started in this, and all the things they went through in order to clean themselves up, to get themselves legit on paper. And look at what, as they dropped all these negative associations and became more serious about their business, they started moving away from certain things, and you watched them mature. And now they at the top of the game, unlimited resources and opportunities. All those guys who may have, built businesses on, in the game, they got legit because they understand how much more they could make and make legally. And so, one, I don't even advise people on certain things, because I'm like, come on, man, really, what are you trying to do? Because I'm not going to advise you in doing illegal things if I don't think it's in your best interest.
That's right.
It's not. If I'm gonna do some dirt, one thing I can't do dirt with is I ain't not with a friend.
Yeah,
that's just how I am. If I'm gonna do anything and I don't want nobody to know it, I don't tell nobody. But when you start like Rico, all these young black boys that don't risk their life to help other people agenda out, and what did they get for it? Little or nothing. On your first run, your first one, you can wind up in prison for a considerable. That person didn't care nothing about you. The reason why he's sending you is because he don't want to take the risk.
Exactly.
But you will sacrifice yourself for less than 25% of what he gonna make off you. So people just have to be careful about their choices. I'm all about choices, good or bad.
See, and that's my thing. My brother was just here, man. I miss him already. He stayed with me about a week, and came from North Carolina to hang out with me. And we talked. We had a conversation while he was here about the way I used to do things back home. Man, I was always by myself, man. I was always in the car by myself. I go, if I'm gonna do some dirt, I'm gonna do some dirt by myself because I don't need no witnesses. I don't need nobody testifying for or against me. I don't need that. No, if I'm gonna do some dirt, I'm gonna do it by myself. And he said, man, that's right, man. Yeah, I was always in the car by myself, man. I've been in that car by myself. I'm going somewhere. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna come on back home. Ain't no witnesses. Ain't nobody gonna tell the story. If anybody gonna tell the story, I'm gonna tell the story. And I'm not telling on myself. Bishop, what's on your heart?
Man, I tell you, that's exactly how I was. I didn't hang with my brothers. I didn't hang with too many folks.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I did.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I ain't telling on myself.
I ain't telling on me.
No.
Did you do it? Nope.
Man, I'm gonna tell you.
Nope.
Rico gave an example of something that happened to me years ago. A friend, looking a friend, and he wanted me to do something, and I told him I'm not gonna do that. I said, hey, I become a doggone suspect in a situation, then what you gonna be?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gonna stand up and say, well, I don't know why he did that. I wish he had told me.
Yeah.
So folks know around there, you got the drop, boy, they will hang you out the drop.
Yes, sir.
So you really got to be careful, on some of the things you do, or what you ask to do by folks that they call themselves your friend, and you call friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about a good friend ain't going to ask somebody to do nothing wrong.
Exactly.
Not a good friend.
No.
So I'm enjoying the conversation, man. The topic is, these guys, man, on here tonight, on the day, man, they sort of knocking out the park.
Mm-hmm.
But I like something Leonard said a little while ago, and I don't know if he recalls saying this. He said, "Shame on you if you fooled me once. Shame on me if you fooled me twice."
Mm-hmm.
I should have learned the first.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I really like that saying right there.
Mm-hmm.
You need to say it the George W. Bush way.
Shame on. He just couldn't get it together. He never got it together.
He tried me. Hey, you fooled me once. Shame on you. You fooled me twice.
Well, that cocaine, hell of a drug.
You can't do it again.
Man, that dude was funny. And as funny as he was,
he was hilarious. Man. He was a straight clown, man. He was so hilarious.
Boy.
What you say, Leonard?
He was the most entertaining. I can tell you, he was the most entertaining to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he always, it never seemed personal. He never took anything really personal. He just, hey, man, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it the best we can. All right, see you later. I mean, that was George Bush. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to try to do it the best we can. See you later. Just where it is.
Hey,
I didn't give you too many details.
I believe he messed it up for his brother, Jeb. Because Jeb wanted to be president too, man. I believe he messed it up for Jeb.
No, Jeb didn't want to be president. No, Jeb didn't want to be president.
He didn't want to be, because I know that George, that son, boy, he messed it up for a lot of people. Boy,
he messed it up for all of them. If he was the top dog of the boys, the other two didn't have a chance, man. The world was not fixing to play that game right there again.
Ain't gonna happen.
Jeb loved the Mexicans too much. I'm fooling with Jeb like that.
Exactly. Cassandra, good morning. Cassandra, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Cassandra, we got a conversation going on this morning. I want to hear from you. Now, your spouse. Now, this child is not your biological child. It's your spouse's child. Just got out of jail. Want to get his life together. In jail for theft. He been, had a little light hand, pick up stuff and stuff like that. And your spouse comes and say, look here, he want to get his life together. Want to go down there to the Goodwill, get some clothes. Give him your card so he can go down there and do some shopping for himself. Can your spouse's child know your PIN number?
I mean, if the person is trustworthy, just because the person went to jail doesn't mean they're not trustworthy.
For stealing now. Went to jail for stealing now. Went to jail for stealing. I want to emphasize that. Went to jail for stealing.
still, that does not indict him or her permanently. I mean, for me, I would give it. I have actually done that before. So, yeah. It's according to
Did you come up shout? Did you come up shout? Did you come up shout?
No, I did not come up short. They stayed within the budget that I gave them. So, I don't, because I do reentry, I'm really big. Yeah. You guys know about reentry. We fight for that. I'm sure Leonard has done some reentry work as I have. And some of these people do things and make mistakes, but I don't have a problem with it. I would ask my spouse to, give them the number. And I mean, if they do something crazy, then you learned a painful lesson. But most times when people do that, they don't have a problem. The person stays within the budget of what they were thinking. And you have your card once they give it back to you. I mean, if they remember the PIN, if you're that insecure about it, change the PIN after they use the card. I don't know, but I would not just distrust the person because they went to jail for theft. I wouldn't. It's too broad of an indictment on people.
Rico, we got something you want to say right now. I can see it's going across his forehead. What's on your heart, brother?
Man, I'm still thinking about George Bush, man. I'm just thinking when that should have been the ultimate answer. When I first seen the question, I should have said George Bush's answer. Ooh, me what? Shame on you. That should have been the ultimate answer. Man, I'm gonna send that link to you too, man. We gotta pull it up because I ain't gonna be able to get this smile off my face now, man. Y'all don't got me started thinking about
Dude, it's hilarious. You can watch it all day. Exactly.
Fool me once. But let me go. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to that, man? This guy, he got arrested for now. Cassandra has a beautiful heart. She really does. And I'll tell you that she got a beautiful heart. But Badger, this dude went to jail for theft. The young lady went to jail for theft. Now, you going to give him your card?
No. Not at all.
Okay. But everybody needs a second chance. People make mistakes, and people need a second chance to get it right. You could be
They can show me in a different way.
Wow. Toya, you want to tell you back with us? Toya, you want to tell you back with us? Okay. Now, let me go to the good Bishop. Bishop, this person just need a second chance. They made a mistake. They know they made a mistake. They did their time. They paid their debt to society. They need a second chance, Bishop. Give them your card.
You said Bishop?
Yes, sir.
Now, I like Cassandra. I love her mental development when it comes down to giving people a second chance. But I'm going to tell you what happened. I have a first cousin. That was my boy. We were like 2 thieves in the park. He went to prison for stealing. He got out and he came to my house. He's my boy now. Love him, man. He's my first cousin, so we're just like brothers. And he said, Greg, I need your bathroom. I said, yeah, man, go ahead. So I step outside. When he came out the door, he gave me a hug. And he left. Now, I go back in the house and I'm getting ready to get I didn't tell you, I just bought me a brand new watch. A Simpsons. That thing was beautiful. And I was getting ready to show it to my wife. Look what I went and bought today. I couldn't find my watch. It was still in the case. When that cousin left, my watch left with him. Now, you can say, oh, I give him a chance. He never stole from me, but he went to prison for stealing. Was he rehabilitated when he got out? Or did he revert back to his regular lifestyle? He reverted back to his regular lifestyle. That's why I said, I'll give anybody a chance. However, nobody gets my credit card. They can go out and use. And I ain't worried about changing no PIN. I shouldn't have to worry about changing the PIN number because I ain't getting the car. But I'm going to tell you, I took off front. I didn't even get in the car. I ran and I ran that entire neighborhood trying to find that boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to get my watch. But I was going to do just like that dude Rico said. I'm going to beat him 8 times. When I leave, I'm just going to come back and just beat him again. Because he don't steal from me. But that ain't cool. Because I work hard for everything I get. And I don't care about no big booty, no baby hair, and no smile.
Hey, why sound different when Bishop said it, man? Why sound different when Bishop said it? We said a certain way. Well, Bishop said, I don't care about no big booty, baby hair, or no smile.
It make it sound like it's Spraggle Knackle on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But see, my thing is, and I understand both of you all's viewpoint on this, but my thing is we can't paint with such a wide brush. Not everybody that come out worse than what they went in. Some people see the error of their ways and they want to go. Oh Lord, Rico, what you shaking your head for?
Man, look, I agree with the good Bishop. I love Cassandra to death, man. But I'm gonna say this just like I said earlier. Sometimes it don't pay to be the first. He could prove himself. He could get a second chance with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those times like with the coronavirus vaccine. I ain't gonna be first. I ain't gonna be the one to find out if you are rehabilitated or not. I'll let somebody else find out, and then I'll base my opinion built off the resume you built from here on out. Just like the first resume you built for being a thief. Yeah, that's what I got to go off of. So, you know, now that you out, I got to check you out because you might have been in there just having a good time, wrestling and playing coach.
Wow.
You know, you might not have been learning not one lesson. You might have been up in there just having a field day. Now, when you get out, you want to prove yourself. Guess what? I ain't even took the vaccine yet. So what you do is you go get somebody else that injection that you got, and then once you prove that you done been upstanding to this person and upstanding to that person, then I might start opening up to you a little bit. But you got to prove yourself. I ain't got to be first all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Cassandra, we got another call. I want to go to that caller, but Cassandra, I want to come to you. And I can understand your heart on that. You know, not everybody go in and come out worse than what they went in. Some people go in and know the error of their ways and just want a brand new start. They just want to start over. I did it. Let's forget about that. Let me move forward and prove myself as I go forward. What do you say to that, Cassandra?
Well, once again, because I've worked with federal prisons, state prisons, and local jails, I know that people do change, and everybody is not determined to remain, doing criminal behavior. The reasons why people get into trouble, we got to look at that. There are a lot of different things, but it's an individual choice. I've just worked with prisons and stuff for 40-something years now, and I've seen all types of people. And right now, I'm friends with several of the young men that I met at the federal prison here in Atlanta that are doing, tremendous work. They came out and they're giving back to their communities. They have organizations that are working hard to help. So I don't know. It's all, it's all with, it's the person's perspective.
Now, what do you say? What do you say to the people, Cassandra? And like I said, we do have a call. I'll go to that call as well. But what do you say to the people that say these guys just playing a game? They got in there, they learned how to play the game, and now they just playing the game. They running game on.
Yeah, some do. That's a reality. Some do. But am I going to throw out the baby with the bathwater? That you understand what I'm saying? Do you lump everybody together? Because we're a people that we're used to being stereotyped. So do we do that with everybody that's coming through reentry? I don't think so. But see, I do it on a different way, different level than most people on the line. So, I just look at things differently. Because I interact with these people and I've done it for over 40 years. So it's a whole nother picture that I have compared to other people. And you do have people that run game, and you gotta be able to recognize the game. But my spirit pretty much speaks to me how to handle people.
Okay, that's good. Got a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? 816 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
KC.
K with an E. K, I'm gonna ask you this question, and I want to hear your heart on it. Your significant other, your spouse, significant other, has a child, not your biological, but they just got out of jail for theft. They did some time for stealing. They get out, they want to get their life back in order. They want to get some clothes, go down to the Goodwill, buy some clothes, so they can go have interviews and things of that nature. And asking a question, and your spouse comes to you and say, give them your PIN number, give them your card, so you can go do some shopping at Goodwill. Can your spouse's child know your PIN number?
Yeah, I would give it to them, or I would take them. I'll just say, let me just take them. I'll take them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably just take them. And I'm like Cassandra just said, because I dealt with them and I work with them. I have worked with them for years, so I dealt with them, men and women that just got out of jail, and that's what we did with them. That's what I did with them.
AK, did you find that someone was actually just running game? I mean, someone probably was sincere, but did you find someone was trying to run game on you?
And you know what? And they can't help but to try it. Some of them, because of where they're coming from. But like she said, you got to recognize it. Because like I told that one guy, I got sons and brothers, and my husband taught me all the games.
Mm-hmm.
You can't run no game on. Like, you better know I'm taking this time, and I'm spending this time and taking you to these places and trying to help you. And I ain't charging you no money or nothing, and buying you lunch, and you got cigarettes when you go back to the halfway house and everything. I'm helping you out. You're not using me. Like, you're not running a game on me. Like, I'm helping you out. This is part of what we do in our community. I have done this even when I wasn't at KCC down there. When I didn't work at KCC, I still did. I had a homeless guy call me yesterday, and he just as happy as he can be that he got a person he could really call to care. And he had a lady friend that was in trouble and needed a place to stay. So it's just something you just got to recognize game. So I know he ain't running game. He's really appreciative that he knows somebody that really cares, that he can really call. He said, "Are you part of this organization?" I said, "Nah, I'm part of the community organization. I do what God tells me to do, and he believes it." And he said, "Oh, I just really appreciate you." So I still help people that say they just came from jail, and I take them to the thrift store and buy them clothes. I done bought so many 49-cent suits out in China Mission, Kansas, in the rich folks' land. So you just got to recognize game.
Yeah.
But you got to know that you do it from the heart, even if they run a game. They run a game on themselves, because that man upstairs, he taking care of you. Only you doing it for the right reason. Exactly. I don't even really worry about him.
That's good. That's good. Bishop, what's on your heart right now? Bishop? What should I say? The good Bishop.
Yes, sir. I was thinking as I listened to Kay, and of course I had the utmost respect for Cassandra, and I understand where she's coming from, and as it relates, we every team give advice. Well, I'm like Rico. I'm not gonna be the first guinea pig to trust you with my credit card. You have to prove yourself, and when you prove yourself worthy, then that's when I will be a little bit more comfortable dealing with you. And sometimes people look at who you are, what you have, and they say, "Hey, you know what? You're selfish." And my Christian behavior or attitude has nothing to do with me being a fool or something. You're not it don't give you no more credence for being a Christian because you give somebody your credit card. And people sometimes say, "Well, God gave me a chance. He should be giving them a chance too. He let them get out, and let's see what's waiting wrong." And because I was in law enforcement, you as well, both of us, we know what it's all about. I'm arresting and you house them. So I know how they do. And most times, them same folks that I arrest, I find myself arresting them again for the same offense. Unless that man or woman give themselves to Christ, then they're not a new creature. They're still the same old person. But when they give themselves to Christ, then that's when they become a new creature. And old things are passed away, just like me. I ain't always been a Christian. I ain't always been a preacher. I was out there in that world. And when you came across me, you know, if you dealt with me, you know you dealt with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, when I'm preaching a lot of times, and I know you've heard me say, God took a fifth grade because Greg was a mess.
Yeah.
My mama told me I was mean. She said, boy, you're the meanest little boy I ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't nobody mess with me. So, you know, dynamite comes from small packages.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Leonard, you, we're small.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want it, if you like that fuse, I hope you're going to be able to deal with some busting or the birds that's going to come after you.
Exactly.
So we ain't going to take no kind of mess.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right, Leonard?
He's exactly right.
Leonard, what's on your heart?
I said he is exactly. You know, it's not. I wouldn't say I was mean, but you definitely know my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got to stand. I can't just
go ahead, Leonard. I'll come back to you, Bishop.
I'm having a delay on my end.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm having a delay on my end when it comes with listen here to Bishop. Oh, okay. But you know, that's just the thing, man. Is you know, I don't have it for you to be messy, and I'm very particular. So usually hustling people. You know what I'm saying? You know how people usually used to getting their way through the hustle game.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they'll come and try to run the same game on you. Like, I don't even play like that. Mm-hmm. So before you even start, I don't already let you know what it's going to be. So if something do happen, that's what you know how some people you meet, you know, yeah. I remember like my grandfather. Some cousins come, I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come over here with that. No. I don't want to talk. My grandfather didn't even talk to you. If he know you lie, you can't say nothing to him. He don't want to hear it. He throw that hand up. Don't talk to me because you lie too much.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know why I don't, it ain't because I don't like you. I don't like the fact that you lie too much, and I ain't got time to.
Yeah.
Up front.
Mm-hmm.
Will stop you at good morning. At good morning. Do you understand? Because he know you.
Mm-hmm.
He know his children he can't trust. You know, he was an old man. He had 13 kids and many grands and all that type of stuff. One thing about it, you can't loan there no, she can't take my keys nowhere. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not gonna ride with him because he drank too much when I think he be drinking. You know how older people would always have that little bit of wisdom that wouldn't let them do things.
Yeah.
That would endanger them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, some young people get caught up because when you're young, you think like this: I gotta go. The older you get, should I go?
Mm-hmm.
Just cause somebody pull up don't mean you gotta go.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, man. I don't avoid it. I've avoided so much because I just didn't get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It's so amazing. You gotta have some sense out here, man.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing you said that because we had some friends back in Greensboro. We was in high school and they had went and supposedly test drove a car, and they came want to pick me up. Man, come on, man, we riding. Nah, man, something just Spirit Rico just wasn't right. I said, nah, man, I'm good.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna stay here, man. Y'all go ahead and have a good time. You be careful. And them guys, man, kept that car, man. And all of them went to jail, man. All them dudes went to jail.
Exactly.
I'm like, wait a minute, how you get these people cars talking about test driving the car anyway? They nah, I ain't getting in that car, bro.
And then he want a joyride. He want to pick up his homeboy on a test drive. Man, you ain't thinking right no way. Like I said, man, so your bread ain't done. Who want to go test drive a car and pick up all their homeboy? Come on, y'all, let's kick it.
Exactly, man. We're going
to test drive.
Doesn't even make sense.
I'm like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Matter of fact, I don't even see why I was friends with y'all. I'm gonna start questioning myself. How I meet y'all?
Mm-hmm. That's nah, I'm good. I'm good.
And man,
I am good. Trust
Rico said something very important.
What's
And
that?
I want young black boys to understand that what Rico just said. Man, your friends don't do that to you like that, man.
No.
You know how many boys get in trouble, go to jail just because they just riding along with somebody? Come on, man. That is what getting in trouble with their friends. So think about it. 4 or 5 black boys all together. One shot, you get them all.
Exactly. Yeah. Ain't never been into that, bro. Ain't just what it is. That's why I say I always been by myself, man. But Bishop, I need to ask you a question though. Bishop, you there?
Go ahead. Next question.
Did you get your watch back?
No. But that cousin went back to jail.
So you had him arrested?
Correct, he went back to prison. There's a difference between prison and jail.
Wow.
He went back to prison. Let me tell you. He went back to prison. He spent 10 more years in prison. He got out. He got sick. And he's at the point of death. He reached out to my family members and they called me and told me that he wanted to see me. So I went to see him. He was in the hospital. And he apologized for doing what he did. Then he asked me would I baptize.
Wow.
But yeah, I will forgive you. I ain't gonna hold nothing like that. The question is, you asked the question about would I give somebody my credit card? And the answer is no, I won't give anybody and everybody my credit card. And a person, I never would have thought the dude would have stolen my watch. If he asked me for some money, I would have given him some money.
Yeah.
If he asked me for the watch, that's why I would have given him the watch. All they do is ask. You don't know whether or not he would have got it freely from me or not. But still for me, that wasn't cool for me.
No.
But I couldn't baptize him. He was so sick that they didn't recommend nothing like that. But I told him, man, I love you. I forgive you. And that's where it is. He died. He's 34 years old.
Wow. Ooh, we got.
It's just right to do right, man.
Yes, sir.
Just right to do right.
I'm gonna tell you something, man, and I don't know if I want to put this in this category, but karma has a way of coming back. Sometimes it's not too kind when it come back to you. Sometimes it's not too kind. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this too, son.
Good morning, man. Man, hold on now. Put some more pepper in your voice, man. But let me do this. Hold on, let me do this again. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this too, son.
Hey,
it sounded the same to me.
Look, it sounded the same to me too, man. Look at that one. That one was $5 worth of dead dog meat. But listen, and how you say, how you gonna let it $5? Is it $5 worth?
$5 worth.
Hey, ask you the question. A nickel worth of dead dog meat. That's it. A nickel worth of dead dog meat.
Two nickels.
Oh, 2 nickels worth of dead dog. Let's say it right. It ain't worth 2 nickels worth of dead dog meat. Okay. Listen, you got a spouse, man. She has a child. I'm gonna give you the scenario. She has a child. Let her on the where we're gonna go with this one. And he just got out of jail for theft. Did some time for stealing. And he want to get his life together. Go down to the Goodwill, buy some clothes, and go on interviews. She tell you to give him your card. Give him your card, and let him go down there and do some shopping. And my question to you is, can your spouse's child know your PIN number? What do you say to that, Tucson?
I don't care if he just came off Wall Street. You can't get my PIN
Come on now.
You better be my size and get in that closet and get my clothes.
gotta be kidding me. She can't get my PIN number.
What?
No, sir. Let me tell you what my dad told me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, son, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Now that might not work for you right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this shit. But that's my cup of tea right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause I had a fellow that worked with me, and he got home after work, and his neighbor come up to him and said, I didn't know y'all was moving. And he had one can of soup and a bucket in the house.
Good Lord.
So you think I'm gonna give somebody my PIN number? No, sir. Not her or him.
Now watch. Go ahead.
I just said no.
Okay. Now, Cassandra, what you think about that? Now Tucson say she can't even have the PIN number. Cassandra, you hear your brother?
I mean that would be his choice. If my mate can't have my PIN number, I feel like something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I that's just me. That's just me. Because we're together, we're one. Yes, we may even have separate bank accounts, but I should be able to have yours and you should have mine. I have no problem. We're all talking from just our own personal perspective. So I'm just saying, for me, this is the way I handle things. And of course, other people have their own ideas of how things should be handled. But yeah, my husband definitely had my PIN when I was married, and I had his. It wasn't even an issue. No problem.
Okay.
If you can't, like I said, you need to really reevaluate your relationship.
Yeah. If you're in a situation like that, Kay, with the E, talk to me. What do you say to that?
I had to get off mute. What do I say to what?
Now he said that his spouse, not only the child, but the spouse can even have his PIN number. Is that right?
Spouse don't need the PIN number. What the spouse need it for? I don't need theirs, and they don't need mine. Now, if there's something happened to me, I'm gonna take that back, because then they might need it. So I'm gonna tell them where they can go find it at. But other than that, I don't know. It'll be a note in a box with a key. Go find that key. That's the only time you can open that box. Other than that, no, I don't think no spouse needs to know all that.
What's going on with you and Rico having all these codes and your cars inside of a glass jar? What's going on with you and Rico, man? Rico say you had to break the glass container to get it out. Man, what is going on?
I think that's right.
Rico, what is going on, man?
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Wait a minute, you didn't care you came from Wall Street, couldn't have either. Who said that, bitch?
No, Donald.
See, when you come together as one,
right now, I just helped them get a job making $600 a week for about 3 weeks. And they got the call this morning, and they called me and asked me if I can take them to work. I'm not going to never help you get a job and then turn around and can't help you get there. Woo! When I tell y'all, I've been busy trying to get my stuff together because I got that call at the last minute because I've been on the phone with y'all.
Wow.
So now I'm taking the whole little morning around because I got to go take this man to North Kansas City to work.
Wow. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on one second. Rico, go ahead, brother.
I'm saying, I think when you come together as one, when you come into that union, that marriage as one, like I said, pretty much that's the way you have to live. But I think each spouse does need their own separate money, because there may be times where you need to pull money out to go buy a special gift. You might want to do something special for your wife. You might want to take her on a trip. You might want to open up a business or go buy her a car. If you got that kind of money saved up in a personal account to do that, that's cool. And I think that should be understandable. But, I don't want people to think that you should be calling yourself consider being put on a pedestal because you think people should prove to you whether or not they're trustworthy or not. Because I'm not special. I don't think a person has to prove anything to me. My opinion doesn't matter. But they don't have to prove to me that they are less than either, less than quality people, or less that they have low standards. So, you know, whether we admit it or not, our character is built off of our actions, past and present, our history, our resume. You know, and so when we make this bed that we lay in, you know, we have to accept the consequences behind people saying that we are untrustworthy or we are reliable or unreliable. But whether we want to accept the fact that we are proving ourselves to people all the time. I might say, I don't have to prove myself to you. Okay. Think that if you don't want to, if you want to. But if that joker don't want to give you a job, if he don't want to give you a loan, he ain't gonna give it to you because you have proven in other ways that you will screw somebody over. So you know your history precedes itself. Look like we done lost.
We got something going on, something fancy going on
about
here.
it because I haven't seen you move in a minute, but I still hear you just fine.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, there it is. But yeah, that's my opinion on it, man. I mean, you know, you really don't have to prove yourself to anybody, and you have to also accept the fact that people don't have to accept or help you unless you prove to them that you are worthy. You know, I believe in giving people small things to do to prove whether or not they could be reliable or trusted. Or you just up and get them some money. You know what I'm saying? People, I mean, like I said, you gonna even though you might feel like you don't have to prove anything to me, I'm gonna look at your character. You proving yourself to me regardless. You proving whether or not you're consistent, sincere, whether or not you're a liar. You know, I mean, there's so many things I look at in a person that's gonna determine whether or not I give them my PIN number.
Man, put that cigarette out your mouth, man. What are you doing? What's on your heart, Patrick? Oh.
Did you turn my camera on?
No, you turned it on.
No, I didn't.
Uh-oh. That's the CIA.
That's CIA.
Yeah.
Well, what's on your heart?
Give him the plasma stick, wasn't there?
Yeah, he left.
No, I was about to go outside.
Look, here we go.
It had it hanging out of mouth like old pimp. Come on, hurry up, go ask a question now. Hurry up, ask a question.
I love it. What's on your heart?
Well, I was listening in because, you know, I have a very simple perspective as far as the topic that we're talking about. So I was looking up at the cyber attacks and everything on the pipeline and seeing how much nonsense all of this is. And it's absolutely hilarious.
But can your spouse not the child, but can your spouse have your PIN number?
Depends on the spouse. I mean, my wife has mine, so.
You say it depends on the spouse. Like you got about 4 or 5 of them now. Hold on, what you got going on over there?
I mean, my spouse, my wife, she has every password I have. I ain't got nothing to hide from her, and I ain't worried about her doing anything dumb.
There you go. Donald, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
I can't understand why I have to have something to hide when I just don't operate like that. That's just me. I don't have nothing to hide. But I'm not going to give you everything, period. I don't care who you are. That's just the way I come up. That's just me, personally. Just me. I don't share everything with nobody. You can't have all of me, period. The only one that can have all of me is God. The rest of you are suspects. That's just me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if she needs anything that I have, she can have it. But I'm gonna give it, not surrender it. That's just me. That's just me now.
Yeah.
Just me. I'm keep repeating that. But I don't have nothing to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't have nothing to hide. I just don't know like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a past, one-time past experience that causes them to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to personally me, but I just don't know. I'm not hiding. You can have anything that I have if you with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to work. I promise you, I'm going to work every day that I possibly can, or trying to make it better to the point that I don't have to go to work at all. Mm-hmm. Everything that I have is really for you, because I can stay in my car if I have to, because I'm a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have the house, to everything else, but to give you everything that I got, I'm gonna keep something in reserve. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shoot that.
Okay.
And that's an agreement from the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Rico, you agree with that?
All the way through.
Mm-hmm.
All the way through. Like I said, you know, I believe everybody needs their own separate money or accounts for emergency.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many different situations where you do need to be, I'm gonna say, have something put back for a bad rainy day. That's what they call it. That's on both ends. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not meaning that you're putting back money to try to pull off something slick later on. Cause don't get me wrong, sometimes you have people putting back money so they can leave.
Yeah.
They just, you know, putting up and stacking up money so they could get up out of here. They done got what they want up out of you, and now they ready to go. They could be their own person and they use you. Mm-hmm. But you know, for the most part, you know, if that happens, that man needs to, or whoever the other person is, they need to have their own money put up too, just in case. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's sort of a thin line. The person on one side that says, well, we don't need personal accounts. Everything we need to come together as one. What, you don't trust me? Mm-hmm. You know, and some people will use that as an excuse, but me, I'm more on the side with Donald. I can really agree with having that personal money, because if I wanted to surprise my wife with a trip to Thailand or Australia or something, well, she see that $10,000-$15,000 come out that account, if she's paying attention, she gonna be suspicious of something. She always gonna wonder, man, where does $15,000 go? What is this little money keep coming up missing out the account for? I'm accounting for all the bills. We you know, we communicate with each other about the money that's coming out, but wow, what's going on with this extra $1,000 coming out every month? Where's he going? What is he doing? So now you can't even you can't even surprise your wife. Yeah. The way you want to. Or if you do surprise her, you gotta tell some lies. And if those lies don't satisfy her, it might end up sending a situation in the wrong direction. She might think you're doing something wrong and go out and do something wrong, and the whole time you planning a big surprise for her. Now you take on this trip, and she got to deal with the fact that she's been having letting another man run up on her. Because she thought you were spending that money on some woman. So I mean, you know, you really do need that money put to the side. You got to have some type of business you got to keep to yourself.
Cassandra, what do you feel about that?
I was getting ready to propose to Donald Toussaint and Rico, but I don't know now. I might not propose to either one of them. I don't know. No, it's okay. Everybody has to decide, you know, how their relationship should work. Yes. Yes. Everybody has to make that personal choice as to how they want their relationship to work. If you feel like it's okay to give your partner, when I say your partner, your wife or your husband, your PIN number, by all means do it. If you feel like, no, that's not an option, then do it. Everybody has to make that decision. You may know something that the rest of us don't know. You understand? So then, you know, like my ex-husband, was an addict at one point, you know, and I had to really be careful about watching money, because he was putting like thousands of dollars a week into his drug habit. So, in that instance, yeah, I needed to use some, restraint, making sure that, I kept a close eye on our joint account. And, my individual account, he really didn't know, but it's all a choice. It's just a personal choice as to whether you feel like you can trust your partner enough that you would give them your PIN number.
Okay. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm pretty much in line with what folks have been saying. It's not, like Donald said, and I don't hide anything. I don't have nothing to hide when it comes to certain things. But one, it's mine. I don't owe it to you. But you can get whatever I got. My wife knows all of my information or what have you. But I like how Donald put it. I'll give you anything. But that's different than surrendering something.
Wow.
I like how that he made that distinction. There are programs that are, like that when people, I think we were talking more about, a trust issue as it relates to ex-felons and things like that. Certain, you just have to take precaution.
That's good. That's good. Bishop?
Yes, sir.
What's on your heart right now, brother, before we get out of here?
Hey, man, I appreciate the conversation, and I think Sandra said something that we oftentimes refer our opinion. And it's a personal preference, a choice to do what they do for others. In life, there is right and wrong, but to give a person an opportunity is never wrong. The thing is, where is your trust level?
Yeah.
And everybody has to build their trust level as an individual based on the person's behavior or actions after the fact. So I appreciate the conversation, sir.
Absolutely. Likewise. Badger, what's on your heart, brother, before we get out of here?
Just think, are you in a toxic situation or not? If you are, you need to look at some things. If you aren't, judgment call is on you.
Good deal. Well, it is 9:59, man. What is going on at 3 o'clock today? The clock is still running. But what's going on at 3 o'clock today, Leonard?
If you did not get a chance to hear this show in its entirety, log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock Eastern today.
Good deal. K with the E, can I get you the prayers out, sis?
K with an E. Sure. Father God, we come to you with proud ears and humble hearts. We come to you with thanks. We thank you for this radio broadcast. We thank you for the host. We thank you for the participants and the listeners, Father God. Father God, I ask you to keep each and every last one of us on this line, the listeners. We ask you to have us to do what you have us to do, how you have us to do it, Father God. We ask you to look at all our sick and our shut-in and our men and women and children that are homeless and incarcerated. And we thank you. If we had 10,000 times, we couldn't thank you enough. In your sweet son, Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and
Amen. We are about to get out of here. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and there you go. And the Morning Glow to be a part of your day. It is now 10 o'clock, straight up 10 o'clock. We're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. You'll have a great day. Give somebody some love. You never know. You might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Love ya. Take care of each other.